caffeinated. I am showered. I am relatively well rested in the way that I do it.
I'm not.
Okay, good.
It's the opposite day, I guess.
Yeah, we got a real yin yang, a real odd couple situation going on. So welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast here on RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
Amanda.
It's a weird news week. It's always a weird news week. I don't want to say that.
It's never like a normal news week.
Well, sometimes Microsoft does a thing, and that's like most of it. Sometimes, but that's like 1% of the time. I should just say, this is more often than not, this is just like trail mix with just way too many nuts. Like
nuts are good. It's when it's like raisins and you're like, there's chocolate in here. Why is there chocolate and raisins and nuts?
So, okay, hot takes, trail mix with chocolate chips and raisins and nuts and like 3 different kinds of. Is this what I'm?
No,
like pretzel sticks maybe.
No,
not like good pretzels, but
I'm
the
like
bad
all
ones.
Savory, all savory trail mix where it's like nuts, different nuts, and then those like just Chex Mixy looking like rye bread things, and then it's all spicy. I just want Chex Mix. Sorry.
It sounds like you just want spicy Chex Mix.
You know what?
With no raisins. It doesn't traditionally have raisins.
I used to get whenever anyone would give me trail mix, it always had raisins, like dried fruit.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
I'm Amanda. I believe we've already did that part.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm so
and
sorry.
And you're well rested.
I do it. I don't remember. It's. I just do it on autopilot. Okay, so wait. So then here's the real question.
Okay.
Gardettos, regular, mustard, or oops all bagel chips, or just not Gardettos entirely.
Oops all bagel chips.
Oops all bagel chips. Yeah. You don't like the little cracker with sesame seeds on the outside.
They're okay, but if I don't have to. If you're giving me the option.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, before we get to the news, I looked around last week at what new movies and TV shows
and you watched Deadpool
came
and Wolverine.
Out. I did not watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Me neither.
I can't decide. It's too mixed. I can't trust anybody. I need somebody who I can trust to tell me like it's dynamite.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, I'm gonna ask Michael about it tomorrow because I think he went to see it. But if somebody,
I would trust Michael's opinion on it.
But if Michael comes over here and he tells me it was okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait.
That's
like
fair.
I'm not.
So I'm not for this one. I'm not afraid of spoilers.
Okay.
So like when it shows up on TikTok when I'm like scrolling through, I've seen like clips and stuff, and the entire movie, just based on what TikTok is showing, looks like either a montage, a cameo, or slow motion. And there is nothing. I've not seen plot. I've not seen dialogue.
Yeah.
I've not seen anything.
Well, speaking of plot and dialogue, I went weirdly rogue this week, and I watched 2 old movies.
How old?
Well, I watched A Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, nice.
And I had to put it on my desktop because I can't ever remember the name. Long Day's Journey into Night. So it turns out that like I looked it up, and it turns out that there are 3 great American playwrights. You got Tennessee Williams, who wrote Streetcar Named Desire. You got Long Day's Journey to Night, written by Eugene O'Neill, and then you've got Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman. And it turns out that there's not really the Death of a Salesman that they made in like the 1960s and 50s. Herman Miller, Arthur Miller. Arthur
Miller, isn't it? You gotta.
He didn't like it, and so I was like, because I thought about watching all 3. Arthur Miller. Yeah. Arthur Miller.
Marilyn Monroe's ex.
Herman Miller is Moby Dick. No, Herman Melville is Moby Dick. Okay, never mind. Anyway.
This has already been such a great podcast.
So yeah, I watched Streetcar Named Desire. I'd never seen it before. And then I watched that Long Journey into Night. I'd never seen that before. And it's really interesting because they're both based on plays. So they both take place in one place.
Yeah, I live for that.
They got like 4 characters like for each one of them.
It's very like limited, yeah.
And they're both about like messed up family units, and specifically they have kind of nutty lady characters.
Yeah.
So
Streetcar Named Desire that nutty lady was Vivian Lee, right?
Yes.
She was
Blanche Devereaux.
Wasn't Blanche Devereaux from Golden Girls?
Okay, listen. I think so, but wait, I'm wrong. It's okay. So here we go. Then let's go down to the cast. It's just Blanche Dubois, not Devereaux. Yes, you are correct. That is a Golden Girl. Blanche Dubois. It's interesting because I've never seen nor read Streetcar Named Desire before.
Yeah,
and Blanche Dubois is I remember the first time I watched Casablanca, and you get to the end, and Humphrey Bogart says it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship, and you've heard that like over and over and over again.
Yeah, but now you hear it in context, and
you
it's
see
totally
the thing
different.
in context. Yeah. Blanche Dubois' thing is I've always relied on the kindness of strangers.
Yes.
At the very end, and then like the other one, the Long Day's Journey into Night. This is an interesting. This isn't the movie page. This is the play page, but it's it's Katharine Hepburn. Who plays the kind of the matriarch? Let's see, film adaptations. Yeah, Katharine Hepburn. This is directed by Sidney Lumet, and it also has a very young Dean Stockwell in it.
What do I know Dean Stockwell?
He was Al in Quantum Leap.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And he's a it's so funny when you see there's some actors that depending on your age you've only ever seen them a little bit older. And you see Dean Stockwell and he's like 20 in this movie, and he's like very fit. His eyebrows are so black, and he plays like the younger brother. So this one's just the Long Day's Journey into Night is about a family that's like really dysfunctional, and it's just kind of like it's one of those plays where you're just watching this family, and then you're seeing the revelations. Oh, well, this happened, and then like 5 scenes later, there's a monologue that explains the backstory. Oh, that's why that happened. Type of thing.
I kind of wonder if these like playwrights and both the plays and the movies that came out after them are why people think actors were better back then, because they were given these great monologues to go through. Like they just weren't given. It wasn't set piece to set piece, or CGI this and actiony that or whatever. To like, I think that's great in movies. I'm not trying to be the person that's like shitting on that sort of thing, but I just mean like people very much act like. I just had this conversation recently where people were like, there aren't good actors anymore, and I'm like, I mean, they're not doing full monologues anymore, so it's kind of hard to.
Well, there was a lot more monologue in Long Day's Journey to Night, because one of the reasons that I watched Streetcar Named Desire was I watched a video essay that was talking about how acting has changed from like the old kind of theatrical acting into the more naturalistic acting that we have in movies nowadays. And a lot of that apparently was... Have you seen either one of these?
I've seen Streetcar Named Desire a long time ago, and I took like an old history of film class. Yeah. But that was when I was in high school.
Okay.
And that was a few
because there's a lot of attribution to Marlon Brando's character in Streetcar Named Desire as like one of the first kind of method / naturalistic actors. Yeah. So instead of kind of standing there and giving his monologue, blah, 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 he's like a lot more organic. Yeah. And so he comes off, and it's weird because it's like he's almost acting differently than everybody else around him. Also, young Marlon Brando is like...
Oh, he could get it.
He could get it. Like, that fucking
he got it a lot, by the way, from like a lot of people.
That first scene where he's all ripped up out in the rain screaming Stella, and I'm just damn, Marlon Brando, shit.
I'm like, damn, Stella, come on.
I've only ever seen, my first exposure to Brando was in The Godfather, and then here you're looking at just like...
Oh, yeah. He was wildly attractive, man. Yeah.
But yeah, they
were but mildly attractive.
They were both good. I think it's interesting to go back and watch. I mean, like they both.
I've never heard of Long Day's Journey into Night. I'll have to like go explore that because
it's kind of
that's my cup of tea. The like real limited.
No, that one is both of these though. You should know. Okay, so like I don't know if everybody else went to the same high school that I did. I don't think you were there. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see all of you.
Were you guys there?
I didn't see like 800 people.
Were you the one that shoved me in my locker? I need to know.
But like when you're in English class and they're having you read like the great American classics and stuff, and you're reading stuff, and there's a lot of like those books where they just kind of end like with somebody just kind of saying something and then fade to black.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then everything was rotten. The end.
Yeah.
These are both very much those sorts of stories.
I genuinely love that way of ending things. Like I defended No Country for Old Men because I was like, 100%. That's exactly how it should end. And people were like, what?
But unlike No Country for Old Men, neither one of these movies pretends like it's going to have some kind of mystery that you will then get a resolution to at the end.
Yeah.
They just are like, they're just meandering people walking around in a house talking about their lives, and then there's like one of them is a kind of nutty lady.
Life is a meandering there's no like beautiful like bow at the end of
yes, but generally
stories and journeys. I know that's how like storytelling, but this is a different way of telling a story, and I appreciate that.
They're much more
I think this is also why I was okay with the season 2 ending of Twin Peaks, and had I and only gotten that, I would also just be fine with it because I liked that it ended on such a weird note, and you don't get any more.
I think they're also both good movies to watch in the summer because they're both kind of older movies that take place kind of on a hot sticky summer night with
kind of reminds me of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Well, that was Tennessee Williams as well, right?
Yeah. So that makes sense.
I
maybe
say that
you should have watched that one.
No, I thought about just going down Tennessee Williams stuff because he's got Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and there's a couple of other ones, but I do think though that going back and watching some of these old things, if people haven't, like Streetcar Named Desire is on Tubi, so you can watch it for free. And I will say I miss watching stuff on cable where they would put advertisements like at places as opposed to just the person is halfway through saying a sentence and like, cat food, do you need any? Like
I feel like Pluto TV's better at that.
Yeah.
A
little bit more programmed.
Well, yeah, because every once in a while when I'm like, I want to watch movies, but I don't have like this is what I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I put it on Pluto and they have like a live channel essentially. And so you just watch whatever they have on. And so I'll do that. And sometimes that is it's sometimes and so I'll watch and it'll just be like commercials will be in, but it'll be between scenes,
right?
Or
like during an act break kind of thing.
Like it always felt natural, sometimes less natural, but I think also because commercials during movies are always less natural than commercials during like television shows where there's an active like stopping point between everything. But
so let me just finish by saying that like I think that people like both of these were nominated and won Academy Awards back in. I mean, like Streetcar Named Desire is like 1951. Long Day's Journey into Night is 1962. Why
the hell is that one in black and white? If it's
probably, I don't know, for artsy reasons, but I think a lot of times it's worth going back. Like, I'm not a big fan of saying like everybody should go back and watch all the old crap, but I think there is something to be said about going back and watching like Academy Award winning movies, because those were generally speaking the most, there was something about them, right? So they weren't just like out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
I will say though, for your sake and everybody else's, that Long Day's Journey into Night is like 3 hours long. So
that I need to know. That I need to know more than anything.
It is 170 minutes.
Really sit down and watch
I watched it in 2 parts.
Yeah.
How about you? Have you watched anything? You see anything? Did you finally get to Twin Peaks?
So I've gotten through season 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks, and I've gotten through Fire Walk with Me. I have not seen. Our next step is Missing Pieces, which I don't know if you know about that.
I don't know what that is.
So there are 90 minutes of additional footage and alternative takes from Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, God.
That he released 3 years before Return.
Okay.
And so I'm going to watch that next. And then that's, it's on like, if you have the Criterion Blu-ray for Fire Walk with Me, it's on that.
Okay.
If you have the Criterion streaming channel, it's available on that as well.
So what's your hot take on Fire Walk with Me?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I adored that movie. Yeah, it's dark. Like I cried at the end.
Yeah.
But it's part like possession movie, part haunting.
Yep.
And then also part like after school special.
It's very Lynch.
Yeah.
It's so
but it's so
Lynchy.
Good. It creates Laura Palmer in the television series for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You're just seeing everyone else's like version of her and what they think of her.
Right.
And you watch Fire Walk with Me, and she's the only fleshed out human in the entire thing. It's so sad. Like, it's wildly sad.
The only scene of I maybe need to go back and rewatch that. The only scene that I remember for that movie, I really do, I remember like kind of vibes, because it's a Lynch movie, right? So you come away with vibes.
It's only vibes, yeah.
The only scene, and it really stuck out to me in that entire movie that just stuck with me, that I can remember clear as day, is the scene where they're in the car and the guy drives up and is yelling at them and with the ring and everything with her and Leland, and she's just like screaming, and it's like this cacophony and like
he's really good. David Lynch is really good at being like, you're gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah.
like he's really good at it.
If you want to do a study about causing a panic attack, you can probably show somebody this scene.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what he's doing, is like putting Laura in such a frantic place with like, I just give me an answer, this thing's happening, I'm freaking out. She at this point already has an idea of like what's going on with her dad, and she's just like fully. It's so sad. I want to. I'm not going to rewatch season 1 and 2, or anytime soon. But I would wonder how it would change watching the seasons now that I've seen Fire Walk with Me, because it's so sad to think that this poor girl, she says in the thing, she's been raped since she was 12 years old. Yeah. She's consistently, like regularly, by Bob. And then anytime she has gone out to get help, every man that has gone to help her has just had sex with her instead. Right. Including and not limited to her therapist. Right. And it's like, that is wildly sad. And then her best friend, it kind of just tries to emulate her and then doesn't really want to help her. And in the end, she Laura rescues Donna. Right. When like the whole time you're watching, waiting for Laura to get rescued, even though you already know she's not going to. Yeah. It's so sad. This poor girl, the whole movie is looking at and mentioning an angel painting that she has in her room. Yeah. And she keeps talking about like this, you're not even there. Like, you're not even going to help me, kind of thing. Like she's essentially talking to God or a guardian angel or whatever. At some point, the angel disappears from her painting. The angel shows up at the end of the movie and helps the other girl. If that is not the saddest thing ever, that poor girl had no chance. Yeah. It's like horrible. And then the whole time she still denied this like evil entity from using her how he wanted. Right. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a lot going on. A lot going on in that movie. All while being a child. She's like, she's 18 maybe, but like, you know, she's still a kid in high school. Yep. She's still a teenager. It's so nutty. It changes your perspective on everybody. And then I always remember it's such a straight, I don't know, like I didn't watch the movie close to the series. Like I think I watched it later, but I'm curious to know, like the thing that always I remember from that movie, there's a few, one other thing that I remember is the scene with David Bowie where Kombat goes into the hall and goes back and he goes back and he goes back, and then on the security camera he stays there, and then David Bowie shows up.
Walks past him and he just comes in and just goes into this fucking insane with a ranting
weird ass southern accent. They were like, he can't be British.
It's so strange. Like and the stuff he's saying is so, it's so Lynchian in a way that it's like we've talked before about how other people can try to like emulate it. Yeah. But there ain't no substitute for the real thing when David Lynch drags out of people. Yeah. And I haven't gotten to Return, and I don't know if that gets explained, but that scene's the only scene that's like a standout of like, huh?
versus everything else that's going on.
It kind of gets explained.
Yeah. Dude, like there's so many good things. Annie shows up in Laura's bed and she's like bloody and because she's still in the what's it called, the Black Lodge.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so she shows up in like Laura's dream. Laura is awake and turns around, and on the other side of her bed is Annie, all bloody, and she's talking about Dale, who Laura doesn't meet. She never meets him except for in the Black Lodge. And she's explaining all this stuff that Laura cannot use, the information she cannot use, and it doesn't matter. It's all things she doesn't know. And then she turns back around, and she's gone. Yeah. And that's when she's scared. And it's like, bitch, how is that when you're scared? Look at this scary thing disappeared. And she's like, oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we got to move on because we could probably talk Twin Peaks until
I can talk about David Lynch all day, every day.
Do that all day, every day. Well, speaking of acting and actors and things like that, last week, right when we were about to start recording the podcast, it was announced that the video game arm of the Screen Actors Guild is going on strike.
Good. It's because of the AI stuff, right?
Yes. So let me see if I can lay this all out. People might ask themselves, there was a thing about a strike back in October of last year. They've been in negotiations between the video game arm of the Screen Actors Guild and like the video game companies about their contract for a while now. And in October of last year, they voted to say that they could strike if it was necessary, but now they are actually doing it. The big thing here seems to be, the big sticking point is AI, but it's not. It's a little different. So, and it's such a weird thing. I read through all these stories, and I'm going to have to talk about AI in a way that I don't like. I'm not necessarily like all anti-AI all the time. Yeah. I'm all anti-corporations using this shit for nefarious bullshit all the time. So
I may not be anti-AI, but I am anti-corporations. So.
Right. So they already have an agreement that voice actors, their voices can't be used. They can't be licensed. They have to have, because the Screen Actors Guild, they did this with the actors during their negotiation. So I'm pretty sure it's similar to that, where it's like, you can't just pay somebody for their voice and then just feed it into an AI and generate a million voices. Yeah. The place where they're hung up is motion capture. So actors doing physical motion capture. Yeah. And the way that it's broken down is the Screen Actors Guild people want to add all motion capture into you can't use it without prior agreement, licensing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Interesting.
The video game companies have said, in fact, I actually am kind of like, I'm not on their side, but I'm willing to cut them a little bit of slack, because their line on this goes like this. If a person creates a series of motions that are specifically recognizable as something that they would do, then yes. If they're just, holding out a gun and going pew, 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 then no. But then the counter to that is like most people don't even know the names of the person that are doing the action. And then are you going to say, well, like, if I do the mocap for Spider-Man swinging animations, is that distinct enough? Or is that just like, quote unquote, generic superhero thing, right? Like,
so what about these, like, okay, because in my head the first thing I thought about was like the WWE 2K games, because they have like, typically what they do is like one or two male wrestlers or one or two female wrestlers will do the motion capture for all everybody. Of the wrestlers. And so like, how would that, if it's, because those are all very, usually besides the general like move sets of, everyone throws a punch and everyone does a suplex, of like, this is a person's signature move. This is a person. So it's just like, how do you, I feel like that would affect like all those 2K games, like football and all that have motion capture for.
Yeah, it's hard to say,
right? That seems like a really blurry line,
because on the one hand, I go, okay, if we want to start the process of paying people to come in and do general actions, and then we want to build an AI library that we can then use to like blend different, if you want to say like, okay, Amanda, come in and run from that spot on the floor to that spot on the floor and do that 50 times.
Bold of you to assume I can do that.
and then we're going to film all 50 of those, and then we're going to feed them into an AI, and then we're going to be like, okay, AI, we need a character to run from here to here. Take all this information and blend together something that looks like a run cycle so that we don't have to have some guy sit down and for the billionth time do another run cycle thing, right? We don't have to hire somebody to come in today to run from point A to point B. The problem I keep running into is it's like, okay, listen, I actually think that AI as a work saving tool to do drudgery work, like very small actions and stuff. Like, I think that's great as a concept. The problem is just that every time we've seen AI implemented in the last like 2 years, it's been so now we never have to hire another motion actor ever again. And
also,
it's like, no, this is not where I want to go with this.
Yeah,
like,
it's weirdly sloppy too. Like it's AI is not ready to take over everything, and people just really like, corporations are so clearly foaming at the mouth to be like, and then I can fire everybody,
right? And so and they're not even sneaky about it. They ain't even sly about it. Like, that's kind of the stated thing of like, we want to use this technology so that we don't have to pay you gay creatives to come in here and do stuff.
Kinda.
Writers, cinematographers, motion captures, voice actors. We don't want these artists to come. We're tired of having to pay artists to come in and talk into a microphone. That's bullshit. Isn't there something I can download from the internet that just lets me type in all this stuff? Also, I don't want to type it in. So is there something I download from the internet that'll type all of it for me and then put it into...
All I want to do is Google idea, and then I want an entire video game made.
I just want to sit down at my desk and type the word money into like a blank box.
Yeah. I don't actually want to type. What I want to do is have a little microphone with a push button that I can just lean in and go, money.
Actually, no, the pushing buttons is for caveman. I just want to yell the word money and then have it drop from the ceiling directly into my hands.
Why don't we just cut out the middleman and I just have money?
What if we just say, I have all the money, the end, okay? It's gonna happen. Obviously, I deserve it. I've pulled myself up by my AI bootstraps. So, again, I have a lot of, the thing is that it's like, I'm on the side of the actors here because there hasn't been a good faith like scenario where it's like, if you're gonna fire everybody in order to make a worse version of a thing,
right?
You're gonna need to sell me on that, not just do it and then be like, here, you fucking dog, lap it up,
right?
Like
it honestly has to be like, well, damn, this is so good. I mean, I can't even be mad at it, but like, it's never been. It's in fact the opposite, where it's like, actually, it's kind of shitty.
Like, you could clock that shit.
Yeah,
and like,
dude. Have you heard Michael's the like arts and crafts place? They released all their like Halloween stuff, and they had a painting. It's like a printed on canvas like painting that you can just get of like a ghost woman with like wolves, and it's AI generated. The wolf has one of the wolves has 3 front legs, and so much so that if you look at the bottom of it, you can see the watermarks of the images that the AI filter used. Yeah, and it's like, come on. Yeah, if you had humans just looking at the AI.
Yeah. So the thing is that I'm at this point, it's like, if you pitched AI to me the same way that I use Photoshop, like I've been saying that, like, if Adobe made an AI tool, something that was like, okay, I want a frog, no, a cartoon frog, no, a little bit more of a Japanese style cartoon frog. Okay, yes, that frog. Okay, now I want you to like store that data and give me a 5-point turnaround of that cartoon frog. Okay, on the back, I need to change these things. Like, it was using as an assist so that artists that like knew how to do stuff, graphics artists, could then use it. Like, I actually use AI all the time. I'm sorry, everybody, but like, all the thumbnails that I make, I usually need to move a guy around. Like if I need to move a character up so that their face isn't like hidden by the name of the game, it's like I cut them out in Photoshop and move them up, and then I got a big hole.
Yeah.
I need to fill that hole in. And so I loop it and I say generative AI, and it just looks at the background and puts something there. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And so like I've seen uses for this. The problem is that like the people that are making this stuff have demonstrated that they are bad actors with malintentions like towards everybody, that they have no respect for people doing stuff, and they just want to
make money and not,
it's just for it's for money. Like there's so many things that you could like use an AI for. Like during E3 I made this giant spreadsheet that was full of all the videos with the names of the games. I shared it out to people. And I found this on these web pages. It just had lists of like, okay, well, first it was this game. Here's the name of the game. Here's the YouTube embedded channel, blah, blah, blah. And I went to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, ChatGPT, look at this URL and generate me a comma-separated list of name of the game, YouTube link, and this description that's below it. Couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like tried for like an hour, and I was like, this would be easier to just do. I'm just going to do it by myself.
Yeah.
Right. So there are things that like if it worked, then it would be nice.
I literally last night I follow a Twitch streamer who one of his things for trying to get tips is if you donate a certain amount, you can give a topic and a genre for a AI generated song.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but they've decided to do a Stained style like early 2000s metal song.
Okay.
About being cold, and for some reason, by the end, the AI just lost its shit and was just like, "I'm smoking cigarettes" over and over again. And so we were just like, "What is?" It sounded like, and then what was worse was the voice was like messing itself up. So it just sounded like a guy smoking cigarettes in a microwave, just melting a little bit at a time. It was weird. It was great, but weird.
So yeah. So then, okay. So we've gone on strike. Strike is happening.
Yeah.
I've got some questions. Should we stop playing video games in solidarity with the strikers?
No.
SAG-AFTRA says, nope, do not do that. That's not what we're not asking for that. So everybody's still allowed to play video games. There you go.
Good news for us.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that actually, I mean, there are like this is mainly with like EA and Warner Brothers and like a few of the
ones that really utilize like actors and stuff.
I think one of the reasons they said keep playing stuff is because a lot of smaller companies either one don't have any voice acting in them, or two, they actually have like agreements with these. It's like the way that A24 was able to go through the actors strike, because they'd already signed it. They were just like, yeah, man, whatever you want, like we need you guys. Also, it should be noted that like this should not affect anything coming out this year, probably next year.
It'd be like the next couple of years, right?
Maybe the year after, depending on how early in development or how small of a thing it is. Maybe the year after that.
It's so funny because the timing on it is in video games is so weird that how this it's gonna be a couple of years later. We're gonna be like, what the fuck does it feel like we're not getting a lot of games? It's gonna be like,
it's kind of what happened during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Where it caused a bunch of delays in 2022.
Yeah.
like not in 2020.
I mean, next year we're getting that because of all the Screen Actors stuff.
Yep.
And the screenwriters stuff. So,
another question says, what will this do with current games in development? And apparently, anything that started development before August 2023 is not on the table. So if you're part of a development before then, but SAG has said if you are contracted, no one's going to jump down your throat if you keep working with the places that you signed a contract with. However, if you were hired on a dailies thing, and you would like to decline to go back until the strike is over, we encourage that, but we're not going to shame anybody. Apparently there's also a clause if this goes over 60 days, because then that means that like Fortnite and all the live service stuff, obviously that's been going on for a long time. If the strike goes past 60 days, apparently that's when they're going to start like getting into current stuff.
Yeah.
One of the weird things is Grand Theft Auto 6, apparently part of their contract with the Screen Actors Guild was that like no strike can touch this production.
Oh.
So
Rockstar was like, we see it coming.
They were
and
just
we're gonna make sure that it.
Yeah. They just put that shit in their contract of just like, so if you decide that you want to strike, you need to not start because we're not playing with that. So that's kind of the long and short of it. I mean, the thing is that the last time I heard about this, it was also the motion actors that had a problem with the terms because they would go do intense physical labor all day and they didn't have stuff built in to give them like proper breaks or water or like there's injury stuff.
I feel like people always think that when they hear things with any actor that they think it's like some cushy job, but a lot of the things that they're striking for are things that affect the lesser known, the non-named person. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that like the screen actors were striking for were things that would affect like extras and things that would affect like people that are like daily workers, but not the like.
Yeah, the big stars have like their own contracts.
Yeah, it's not the people that are like winning Academy Awards. Right. It's the little people that don't get invited.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole point of the union, right? Is like the people up, they're signing specific contracts.
Yeah.
They have Nolan North has like a lawyer who goes and signs a specific contract, but like most actors can get away with using the standard Screen Actor Guild rules for everybody across the board, and they don't want that to be weakened because then those people can get boned. So, and that's kind of it for right now. I mean, we'll see how things go. That's kind of the long and short of it, but I wish them well. And unfortunately, that's not the only AI story we have for this week. So,
goddamn, AI is the new NFT.
It is. It definitely is. Don't worry, we've got an NFT story as well.
God
Amanda.
damn it, Jeff! You said we were going to have good stuff to talk about.
Well, stuff to yell and scream and rage against the machine about. Like that's what I said. Activision has released a giant Call of Duty map plus player data to AI companies for training purposes. So this is the map Caldera, which was like one of their big Warzone maps, along with like tracking data for the players that are moving through that as a giant data set, because the whole thing with AI, right, is that you need like all the data sets, right? So what we're currently kind of fighting over is like nobody would care if they were taking extras, motion captures if there was enough data to already train something based on that. So I don't think this is just like very weird because it's this giant file that like apparently is just accessible. But it's something to put into an AI to now see.
Is it like a generate terrain AI sort of thing, or like I don't understand what they're going for?
The thing is, I don't know. It's unclear. I think it's just more like we have another story that's a little bit more specific about this. This is one of those ones where I start to get into the gray area of like if you wanted to plug this into an AI along with player data to be like, well, where are my trouble spots? Where are places where people were getting hung up or like where were there clusters so we could figure out ways to put in terrain to break it up? Like that's the sort of AI analysis that I think is actually could be useful because it would be used to make the game better. Now, if it's just like, here's how people move across a multiplayer map, but even then you say, here's data about how players move across a multiplayer map. I want you to generate bot like intelligences that move like players so that if you play against bots, they're more like what actual players are like. AI uses that as a training module.
You don't even have to make your own game, and then pretty soon you don't even have to play it. You know what this stuff kind of reminds me of is like science behind grocery stores. Where they, like they,
the eye level,
you like where things are placed and like the kind of music and like the temperature of the building. You know what I mean? It's kind of that same vibe of what information they're getting. Which when you say it out loud always ends up kind of sounding nefarious.
Well, it's a thing. To me, what this comes back to is not to go too far on a tangent because we're already behind, but not to go too far on a tangent. But this is a thing that I always go back to, and this is just an example with food stuff where people will shame people for not having the personal willpower to eat healthy or eat less or whatever, without recognizing that there is a huge, incredibly sophisticated engine on the other side of that has had 40 years worth of experience learning how to break your will. Like learning exactly how to make you go, yeah, okay, fine, I'll go to Taco Bell today, right? Like there's a huge engine. It's not just like, oh, you know, I every time I see a taco, if I see a taco on the street, I'm going to run over like an animal and grab it because I got no willpower and I just need food, right? Like, it's like, you know, it's on the side of buses. It's on the website.
You
it's
just
all
have to
like,
study McDonald's over that. I mean,
right, exactly.
The specific amount of salt so that you want another drink, and then you need a bigger drink, and the amount of carbonation makes you want more. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing they do just gets you to want more food. So then, when you think about going to a place like McDonald's, you tend to want to order more food.
I mean, maybe that's the way to interpret some of this data, because like EA had a patent for this idea of like smart matching people in multiplayer against players who have purchased premium weapons, so that the player would then be matched up against somebody who had a superior weapon that they could buy for real money,
to be like,
and then would get killed, and then would see in the replay cam that they got killed. And it was so just like, guys, fuck off. Like, can you just let me play a video game without putting everything in a Skinner box? Does it all have to be like addicting you to the shit all the time?
What the fuck ever happened to... I made a good game that people wanted to play. Why does it have to be this? And then we had to use the color blue because we found out that if they see it, that they want, you know what I mean? It's just like, guys, chill out.
Now, on the other hand, speaking of EA, there recently was an EA college football game that came out, and EA had an earnings call, so we're gonna have like 3 EA stories in a row. EA came out on this earnings call, and they were asked, like, okay, so your NFL football, many fewer players than college football because there's a gajillion college teams, right, all over the place. So normally they'll go in and they'll make all the different players, right? But for this, it's like, well, they had 11,000 players to make, which was way more than you get in your standard, like
NFL or something.
Right. In NFLs, you would have, anyway.
17. I don't know how many.
500 to 1,000 for NFL, 11,000 for college. So what they ended up doing was they took all of the headshots they had, and they ran them through an AI that created 3D models of every one of them, and then they had artists go in to fix it,
clean the edges,
to fix it all up, and then they ended up being able to crank out 11,000 individual players that kind of looked like players. And I'm like, well, this is more like what I'm thinking it should be used for.
Yeah, isn't that kind of what you remember when John would do the I'm going back to WWE 2K.
Sure.
But when he would custom made, they had the face scan. You could put your face on a character.
Face-atar or whatever it was called.
Yeah, it was weird and it kind of janky, but mainly because you can't go into the game and manually fix it like the people developing it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
Kinda. I mean,
a similar idea at least.
Yeah. So that's one of those things where I'm like, well, that's more what I was thinking, because you still have artists, but there's no way, and you also wonder to yourself, I mean, I don't really know, I have such a weird skill set and work experience in life and blah blah blah. Is like, if you go to college to become a 3D artist, do you really want to get hired at EA to spend all day every day fucking pulling up somebody's college?
Can I start you off with you probably don't want to work at EA?
Well, obviously, but do you want to be sitting there just carving out versions of college students every fucking day in a row of cubicles with other people? I'm sure, obviously the people cleaning it up were in a row of other people, but it's one of those things where it's less work to fix the fucked up thing than it is to generate it from the ground up, right? So you ask yourself, is that a good use of AI? I personally think kinda.
Yeah.
Like, but it's hard to know. Like, because
I mean, the problem is just I like, yeah, you and I agree on the, like, as long as there's an artist or artists that are there to clean it up and make it functional,
yeah,
then it's a tool being used. But how easy it will be for EA to just also be like, good enough, and then throw it out there.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, once we're 2 generations ahead in their learning model, and if it can do it better,
Yeah.
and then do you just fire your entire art team?
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
they will, because we already know that these companies don't give a shit about
Yep.
their employees.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, it's being used as a tool fine now, but it just sucks because you already know. You know what I mean? Like, you could see 2 steps ahead.
Yes. Let's see. Oh man, we're out of time. But let me see if we can get through a couple other quick things here real fast. Andrew Wilson was in their earnings call talking about the next Battlefield game and talking about how they have invested a huge amount of manpower into making the next Battlefield game. It's supposed to be the best new Battlefield game they've ever made, and blah 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 blah. It's supposed to be huge. It's supposed to be very detailed and great, and et cetera, et cetera. And I would just like to take this opportunity to remind everybody that is exactly the same fucking thing they say every single time. And the last time the Battlefield 2042 works okay now. It took them like 3 years to make it work. It was garbage. Do not pre-order the next Battlefield game.
You wait until it comes out and you see if they deliver what they said they were going to deliver.
Yes. Don't put your hand on the stove.
They're not going to sell out.
Don't put your hand. Yes, they will have enough copies.
We live in a day and age where that's not going to happen.
Yes.
So why bother?
Just wait until it's out.
Yeah.
Just give it one day. You know, give it. It's probably going to be in early access for 3 days beforehand if you buy the collector's edition.
I mean, honestly, there's going to be some like reviewers that get it just like a little bit early, and then you just watch their stuff and see what happens.
But for the love of God, just don't buy it. Like, not this one. This one's all fucked. Like, this franchise is bad, or like it seems to always launch busted, and if it launches busted again, you don't want to be there on day one.
Yeah. Stop rewarding them for this.
Yes, reward them after they fix it.
Reward us.
Also, part of this, Andrew Wilson came out to say, they were talking about the strike,
yeah, of course,
and said that, like, I don't know, this is kind of just reiterating what I said before, that he doesn't think it's going to have any real effect on the short term of the business.
No,
right?
yeah.
So,
doubt it.
I think that's most of what we got from the EA. It was like an earnings call.
Yeah.
So, I tell you what, let's wrap it up with the one NFT story.
Get it out of here.
Get it out of here. So, we have an Olympics that is occurring. Normally, when there is a Summer Olympics, you will get a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics game.
Oh, yeah.
This year, there is no Mario and Sonic at the Paris Olympics 2024. When asked why this was, apparently the IOC, didn't want to pay Nintendo and Sega prices to make a game, and 2, was much more interested in going with a third party who could also help them with, and I didn't know this was a thing, Amanda, the NFTs that they are selling of Olympics. It's like pins that are also NFTs, because I guess they started this scheme like 3 years ago when NFTs were a thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So, yeah. And also, did you know that there's an Olympic, like there is a game?
There's like an Olympics game, or?
Yes. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. The Paris Olympics does have an official video game, a free-to-play title called Olympics Go Paris 2024.
Nice.
Available on mobile and PC.
We're gonna play that after this, right?
Given that I haven't heard of this, I get the feeling that it's beyond bad, because if it was just like charmingly bad, I feel like I would have heard about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that I've never heard about it means that it's like
just like a bunch of stick figures trying to get that gold medal on pommel horses or something.
Yeah. Let's look it up. What's it called again? Fucking terrible. Olympics Go Paris 2024. Is it on Steam even? Oh, it's on the Epic Game Store. Live reaction. Yeah, it looks like.
Ooh, doesn't look finished to me.
Looks like the Sims go to the Olympics, kind of.
Oh yeah, I kind of get that.
They kind
vibe.
of got some Sims going. What
Neat.
upgrade your stadiums, build facilities. What's got a build mechanic like a fucking phone game? Make your own Olympian and then do a Olympics.
And you can swim or you can run.
Do an Olympics. Also buy our NFTs.
Gross.
Gross. Very gross. Very gross. But not quite as gross as the last paragraph of this PC Gamer article that I didn't even know was a thing. Did you know that next year in 2025, they're going to have the first Olympic esports games?
Oh.
Would you like to guess where the first Olympic esports games will be held?
Arlington, Texas.
Oh, God, no.
There's an esports arena.
Nope. That will be in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, gross.
Because they have been doing the sports washing thing where they've been funneling money into that stuff. And nobody, God, I swear to God, like 5 years ago it was China and now it's Saudi Arabia where it's like nobody can just be like, maybe we should do this somewhere that doesn't have like gross human rights record.
Yeah.
You know, just like maybe. Or there was even like a quote here. I don't know if this is real. This is the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman telling Fox News in 2023, quote, if sports washing is going to increase my GDP by way of 1%, then I will continue doing sports washing.
Okay.
So, yeah. On that gross note, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, don't worry, everybody. Don't worry.
Don't worry. No, I'm not.
I got a lot more bummers for the next part too.
Great.
So
we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have it's going to be a real crap-tastical adventure into the unknown. So get on the magic crap school bus with me and Amanda. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Here we are.
Is everybody on the bus? I got to close the doors. I got to...
Moving on down Main Street. I don't know the lyrics.
Yeah. So, okay, here we go. I swear to God, it'll get better by the end.
I believe you.
Bungie this week laid off a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
220 employees, roughly 20%.
I'm not laughing at the news. I'm laughing at the jumping right into it like such a downer.
Yeah, I know. I know. I kind of, when I was putting all the news stories together, I always try to put them in a kind of a logical order. And this was kind of like coming off of some of the NFT and AI stuff. And just kind of let's get the bad news out of the way up front. There's some better stuff down the road.
We'll get there eventually, guys.
So there was a report that came out a little bit last year that said that if Destiny 2's next big expansion, the Final Shape, didn't do well, there's a clause in their contract because they got bought by Sony that if they don't make X amount of money, then like their board of directors basically has to cede seats to Sony executives who then come in and take over. I don't think that happened because the Final Shape sold very well, which is why everybody is like, in fact, one of the big things here is that the CEO of Bungie posted the picture on Twitter with the statement on it, and then locked his account. And everybody was like, well, now, hold on a cotton picking minute there. Like, he also has something that's like in his bio, it says like, be brave or like be bold or something like that. And everybody was like, I'd like to be bold and tell you what I think about you. Because there was another story that came out not that long before we started recording where people have said that like ex-employees have said like, yeah, 2 weeks ago he took me out in the parking lot to show me one of the cars that he bought with his $2.8 million bonus when we got acquired by Sony. And then like I got fired a few days later. I don't understand.
I genuinely thought that it was going to be he took them out to the parking lot to show the new car that he got and then was like, also you're fired.
You can't come back inside.
You can't get back in the building. Here's your stuff.
There's been part of this is that there's 155 employees. Okay, I can't tell. I did some research to try to figure this out. I can't tell.
Yeah.
One of the parts of the story is that 155 Bungie employees, I don't know if this is part of the people that have been laid off or it's part of the people that are left, are moving to Sony They're being absorbed into Sony. This was a group that was working on like what was supposed to be their next game, because they've got Destiny, they've got the Marathon game that's coming out, and there was like another game they've been doing like R&D prototyping on that was supposed to come after that.
Okay.
That team is going to be absorbed into Sony to take it off of their plate. Again, I can't tell whether this is part, because it would be a very different story if it was like 220 people got fired, but like 2/3 of them are getting hired on by Sony.
Yeah.
But then it's also another very weird story if 20% of your staff. Okay, so let's see. Oops, I hit the lock button on my computer. So what? 220 people are 20% of your staff. So if we multiply that by 5, that means you had a staff of 1,100.
Yeah.
So if you take the 2,200 off of there, 1,100 minus, that's 900, right?
Yes.
Minus 2,200, 220. Nope. 1,100 minus 220 is 880. And if you take 155 people off of that, then it's like you've gone from 1,100 to 725. Like you've gotten a huge. So either way, I don't know. Like if it's the people who got laid off are the ones that got absorbed, that's like better news.
Yeah.
Because I keep seeing this shit where it's like companies are firing huge amounts of people. It's like, well, you're hollowing out your talent pool, right? Yeah. You're making an entertainment product. So like if you fire a bunch of people, like apparently this one of the biggest places in Bungie that got hit was like the team that communicates with players about reporting bugs and doing like on bans and like social media stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that shit's important, man. Yeah. Like
that is a very typical thing.
Yep.
John have worked in customer support before.
Yep.
And they're always the like, the company goes like, we don't really need that many people, and then it just fucks everything up.
And then it's like, oh, now there's a 5-hour wait time to get your thing that you're paying money for fixed.
And then nobody wants it anymore because it sucks. And then, all the time.
It's a big cascading problem. What I don't understand, and I will not understand this, is look, I get that CEOs and C-suite executives are making, the success of Destiny has to be partially attributed to the leadership of the company. Mm-hmm. But when these things go so terribly wrong, it feels like maybe not the CEO, but like most of the board of directors should be fired, and their salaries should go. Like if it was half executives and then like some lower level people, that's fine. What I don't understand is how the people at the top get to make the decisions. I mean, I'm just bitching about something that's as old as time.
Yeah,
the people at the top make a bad decision, the profits go down, and they're like, we need to cut expenses so all you little people can get the fuck out of here, and I don't give a shit what you do. Like
there's going to be a day where there's going to be some corporation that is exclusively CEOs and nothing else,
right?
And it's like, I don't know how he makes the money, but he does.
So there's a lot of people on Twitter that were basically just kind of saying like, hey, this guy is the one that made all the decisions that have put you where you are today, and this isn't like something that happened like last week. This is something that's been going on for like 3 years.
Yeah,
dwindling player base, like complaints and all kinds of like missteps. Seems like it would be a better idea to find somebody with more experience or different type of experience to come in and take over.
Or somebody that fucking likes video games. I'm so tired of these guys. I make money.
Yep.
And then they don't make money because they don't know what they're selling.
We really keep them around because they get to walk into the room and yell money, and then the money just drops into their arms.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Always feels like it's somebody's fucking nephew.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Daddy got me in.
It's just like,
am I too poor? I just don't understand from like the level of poor that I come from.
I think that what it is like, we don't understand this stuff because of the amount of money that's involved. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just say, for example, that one day you came home and there was like a new guy living in your house. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, what the fuck is up with this guy? And John's like, well, every month he's going to give us $5,000. Mm-hmm. And he's going to live in our
favorite
house.
Guy? Yeah.
And it's like, well, he's kind of a piece of shit. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but every month he gives us $5,000. Like, he covers our rent and all of our expenses and everything every month without fail. That, like, even if it started going down to where you were only getting like $2,000 from that guy, you'd be like, I mean, it's still a piece of shit, but I'm still getting a lot of money every month from the guy that lives in my house that I don't really like, you know? And I think that's kind of the way it is.
Is this what being a landlord is?
Yes. No. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Anyway, I just wish there was one of these times where it became a thing where it's like, you know, when Microsoft laid off all those people, they're like, well, we hired too many people, and so now we have to let some of them go. And I'm like, okay, well, one of the person that you're letting go is the person who made the decision to hire all those people, right?
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Anakin meme, right? Like, and it's like, no, it's never anybody that's making that the top tier stuff. It doesn't matter. Bobby Kotick was in charge of Activision forever, and it didn't matter what stories came out or what bad shit happened. That dude made the shareholders money. That's literally all they care about.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's a good place to work, people are treated all right, or any of that shit. It just matters what the amount of dollars is. So
support indie games.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
Buy a lot of indie games.
Buy indie games.
Last week, Humble Games, quote unquote, restructured. Mm-hmm. They were immediately community noted on Twitter to say that, you know, what restructuring meant was that they fired every single person at the company, and then were...
So when I said I wanted to see a company that was just the one guy...
This isn't that podcast. Or maybe it is. So apparently, I actually found a little bit more about this from this article. So they were trying to sell Humble Games, which is like the publishing arm of Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
It's not directly connected to them. And they had a third-party like financial outfit that was shopping them around. They couldn't find a buyer for it, so instead they fired everyone, and then they basically put that financial company in charge of running Humble Publishing moving forward. And part of that is that a lot of the games that have been published under that are now
trapped.
They're fucked up because like that agency was in charge of like getting our games onto Sony, getting the patches to Sony to publish on their store. Like, they were in charge of interfacing with the third-party company that was doing the Switch port of our game. They were in charge of doing the licensing deal in order to get our game on Steam or whatnot. And a lot of the places that work for them, that's like what the publishers generally do.
Yeah.
And a lot of those game companies have come out and been like, you know, the console version of our game is like five versions out of date because I can't get anybody on the phone. Nobody's given me a phone number of somebody to call to be like, I need this shit to be updated.
Yeah.
Who do I talk to at Xbox? Do I give it to you? Do I contact Xbox? Do I submit a ticket somewhere? And so it just goes to show that, like, while you're, again, it kind of goes back to the Bungie thing. When you do shit like this, it has a ripple effect. And part of that is like you're degrading the reputation of the properties that are underneath you because they can't like fix things, update things, release things,
do what they need to do and would normally be able to do.
Yes. Now, I do have a little bit of for this one, like there was an update where they basically came out and there was a representative from that financial holding company, the Powell Group, that said, we're aware of this, we're working on this, we're trying to spool this up. So to me, what this smacks of is the company that owns Humble Publishing is Ziff Davis. They own like IGN and Rock Paper Shotgun, a bunch of those places.
Yeah.
That somebody made the decision like, okay, I'm sick of this, fire everybody. And they were like, well, what should we do? And they're like, put that guy in charge and fire everybody. And then it was like, again, we'll go back to you and I both have work experience of like when somebody makes a grand decision and then it's up to a bunch of people below them to be like, fuck, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's going to take a few weeks and you're just like, I'm a bank. I don't know who to contact at Microsoft.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, Laura, you're in charge of this now. Go start reading, I guess. Somebody's got to figure out how to get the patches on the PlayStation Store.
Yep.
So it does appear they're moving in that direction.
What, like a higher up person who doesn't know whose job is what, and they just tell you what to do, and then you get trapped in some bullshit? Doesn't sound like anything I've ever experienced.
We got to move back to the path. We gotta get back to the path. We're veering. Okay, good news. So over at Blizzard, the World of Warcraft team of 500 devs and people
I saw this.
Unionized.
Yeah, good for them.
Yep.
Ooh, and Blizzard, I wonder how they're feeling over there.
Well, we kind of know because Microsoft made a statement. Okay, Activision was wildly anti-union and did all this union busting stuff. Microsoft put out a statement because they were trying to look as good as boys as possible to let their acquisitions go through, that like, we will not interfere with any unionization efforts in any of the studios that we own, including Activision Blizzard. So last week, I think it was Bethesda, like the whole Elder Scrolls team, I think, unionized.
Yeah.
And this week it's the whole World of Warcraft team. And this is good because
I can't believe there's not a union already for all of like developers.
It's so weird because they're all doing it under the Communication Workers Association, because that's like the closest thing to a union classification that would count for this. But yeah, they did it. They put it all together, and it's a top to bottom. So it's not just like a QA thing. It's like the programmers, the artists,
good,
everybody, all in one go.
Fantastic.
Yep.
They're all going to get fired.
Well, they can't, or I don't know. I mean, like the big question about this is going to be, there will be a point where one of these unions then has to go up against management and has to then call for a work stoppage. And what that will mean for people like you and me is that, like, I'm just going to, this isn't an actual thing. I'm just picking a game that I know that you and I like. The Case of the Golden Idol sequel is delayed by 2 years because of contract negotiations with the publisher. And we are all going to have to be like, this is the price of not burning people alive to do fucking swords and sorcery, okay?
And I know this is you and I, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I will pay any price to see people not be run ragged and burnt out. I'll wait. If it means don't buy that game, I won't buy that game. If you know what I mean? Like, I do not have loyalty to my own personal entertainment. This world is full of other things you can do.
Yep.
I will be more than happy to, if they say don't get Netflix, don't watch movies during the SAG-AFTRA strike, then that's what I do. If they say, I'm fine with it.
There's a lot of old games to play that are very good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of new games to play that aren't published by big publishers that are very good.
Make your own game.
Make your own game.
Like,
maybe
just
spend a little
learn
time.
how to do it.
Read a book.
Watch. Touch some fucking grass.
Go outside. Walk around. You know, like a few weeks back, the battery in my car was messed up, and I was out of cigarettes, and I just had to walk to the convenience store. And you know what, like, guys, you know, you like,
just like walking.
You walk and then you go and then you come home and wake up the next day and you're just like, I don't know, I just kind of feel better.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of feel better. Stretch my legs a little bit, you know, kind of pound the pavement, sweat a little bit.
Get a film camera and walk around and take pictures of shit that makes you go, that looks cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not your phone. Leave the phone at home.
Well, keep your... Ladies, keep your phone.
Okay, ladies,
like,
keep your phone.
You know what I mean? Because, like, shit gets scary out there. But, like, go enjoy things. It doesn't matter. I mean, and honestly, if you want to stay home and play video games, play video games. But, like, we all have a Steam library of a million games that we have and haven't played yet.
You know what? If you live in a place that is not...
Clickhold.
Play clickholding. See the ending that Amanda and I didn't get because it was bugged.
Oh, there's a different ending?
Yeah.
Oh, Patreon exclusive. Let's do it again.
In the spring and in the fall, play your video games with your windows open. There you go.
It's the same thing as being outside.
Smell the outside if you're not going to go outside. Let's see. In other Microsoft-owned company news, Bethesda registered Starborn as a trademark, and people are thinking this is probably going to be the next expansion for Starfield. I won't spoil it, but Starborn apparently refers to something in that game that is a plot thing that happens. I
feel like the whole thing's been spoiled for me now.
Yeah, well, then I guess you don't need to play it. I guess when the strike
not a
comes,
problem. I wasn't going to
check that one off the list. Okay,
I'm just gonna move on to the next one.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm going to say the same thing I've said a lot about this game, is that I think that this game has good bones. I think it just needs to have a few walls knocked down and get a big more open floor plan. I think that after expansion 3 or 4, I might go back and try it again.
Nice.
But right now, not interested.
Yeah.
I got Fallout London to play.
I've been trying to get people to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not like super diehard about it.
You're like, there's a dog.
Yeah, literally. Like, we had a really good time.
Yep. Speaking of Fallout, we did get there was a Microsoft earnings call as well, and we get some little tidbits out of those. It turns out that when the Fallout TV show came out, there was a 5x quarter-over-quarter increase in the number of people playing Fallout games, because they're all on Game Pass across the board.
Yeah.
So like all of the different Fallout games, just all of them got a huge boost.
Maybe make a fucking new one then.
Yeah, maybe have like something to put out. That's the thing I kept thinking of when I was reading the story. Is like, how the fuck did you guys not have like, you knew the Fallout show was being made. These things have to be made like 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Like, how did you not have a Fallout 76 expansion? How did you not go just give those dudes some money to put Fallout London on the Xbox store?
Nothing. It's so weird to me.
Everybody had Fallout fever there. What can you play? I'm like, Fallout 4, the worst one? Like, what about Fallout 76? The worst one? So, yeah. I don't know how they're so bad at this, but they are.
I guess that no one expects video game TV shows to do that well. I think Last of Us was kind of a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
And then Fallout. But like, if you think about it, like the Halo TV show didn't exactly do anything for them. And Twisted Metal didn't. I mean, it's good. It's fun. But like, nobody's like, I got Twisted Metal fever. Like,
right.
But Fallout definitely.
But you could see, like, you know, even if you look at Twisted Metal and Halo,
I feel like the Witcher show did more for the books than the games. Do you know what I mean?
So I feel like Halo and Twisted Metal are like, I think Fallout as a franchise is just more popular.
Yeah.
And it also...
But all these companies tend to... I mean, you saw it with comic book movies in like the 90s where they were a little more conservative with the idea. They didn't go like, the whole world's going to be into this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're, I think, at the cusp of it for video game television shows. Mm-hmm. And so maybe they just didn't think... I don't know. It's also like, but basic like corporation bullshit to be like, you like this, you should try this kind of thing, but they didn't do that.
It feels like, and I definitely get that, but it also feels like the day the Fallout show dropped, at the very least, you should have had $4 skins of Lucy the Ghoul and Titus for Fallout 76.
Oh yeah,
that you could just go buy, right?
It's weird that they there was nothing.
I mean, they announced that they were eventually going to put ghouls in as a race into Fallout 76, but it was like the whole thing caught them by surprise. And then I look at that show and I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Look at the amount of money. Look at the amount of fucking money. Like, you take 2 artists and for 2 weeks be like, okay, here's what they look like. Put them in the game so that when people got Fallout fever, they can go grab this live service game that we want people to get and, you know, buy the Lucy skin and get 1 month of Fallout 76 premium edition, because they have like a premium subscription thing where you get a personal server, so you can play on public servers, but you get your own personal server with a bunch of like add-ons for like $5 a month. It's like, how did you not have a thing? The same way that it's like, you know, how did you not have a thing for The Last of Us? Like, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's just such a wasted...
It's a little like the Transformers cartoon was an advertisement for the toy, and then they forgot to put the toys for sale.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this is the whole point.
Well, you know what it reminds me of is back when, it's kind of the opposite, but back when the MCU was really big, and I kept going like, where the fuck are the tie-in video games for these movies?
Yeah. I mean, they did, and some of them were terrible.
Well, I know they had the first run once.
I think the issue was that phase 1, they made such shit-ass games where it's like...
okay, look. The Captain America game was actually pretty good. And the Hulk game had the donut trucks and the ice cream trucks, and I will not... Hulk Ultimate Destruction's pretty good.
But there was like a really bad Iron Man game.
There were 2 really bad Iron Games.
Yeah, there's never been a good Iron Man game.
Anyway, I just don't know how they keep not doing the synergy. It's like they keep doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And then
maybe it's intentional.
It doesn't work.
Maybe it's some form of rage bait that I didn't know about.
I don't know.
They're just like blue balling you for.
What's the next? Oh, I know what it is. We're gonna talk about it. I was gonna say, what's the next crossover thing? But that doesn't fucking count. Okay. Strangely enough, I've got even more Fallout news.
Oh, good.
Because Fallout London. So you remember when you and I played Fallout London and it was crashing a whole bunch?
Yeah.
Apparently, like, we got really lucky in the fact that it only took me about 30 minutes to crash it, because I've been on their Reddit with people like, I've done everything you said. It's been 5 days and I still can't play this game.
Wow.
I can't play for more than 40 minutes without it crashing to desktop. It's got problems.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that something built on a Bethesda game engine would have problems? But they said they're working on it. They also have a gigantic, like a big instruction manual on, like, okay, delete the entire fucking thing from your thing, then click on this, then click on this, then click on this, install these mods. It was actually the ones that we used.
Yeah.
Like, before you start, this should take care of it. Also, we are working on it. We are going to put out a patch as soon as we can.
Yeah.
This is one where, like, I get why people are salty. I get why people are like, I wanted to play this weekend and I can't because it's fucked up. It is free. It costs $0. And they're like, also, we're working on it as fast as we can, but, like, we have not made any money on this. Like,
Yeah.
I think your tits need to calm a little bit.
Yeah. I get the frustration because we were also very frustrated with it.
Yep.
But yeah, when it's free, it's also like, all right, but
Yeah.
I can't stay mad at you.
I think it's just a testament to how much people want to play it.
Yeah.
Right? That it seems like it's pretty good and a lot of people want to play it. However, some people have some problems with Fallout London.
Yeah.
And one person has made a mod which has garnered more controversy than I think that I've seen in a while
What did
about
they
a video
do?
game. So they changed the item description of one item in Fallout London. They changed it. The mod is called "It's a Soccer Ball," and it changes the description
football to
of the
say-
football. Yes, to say soccer ball. It also changes
Americans ruin everything.
football uniform to soccer uniform.
What a weird fucking
Now, the person who made this, like, they made it as a joke.
Yeah.
But if you look at, like, the comments section, it's just people arguing and actually the name soccer comes from blah, 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 blah. It's just like,
guys.
all right, you guys, come on.
I'm worried about you guys.
Like,
Remember when we talked about touching grass? That is the maybe you guys should go out and play some soccer.
yeah, maybe so. Or football.
Or football.
Or-
you know what? I won't even be mad. Play whichever one you want.
Yeah.
Maybe be real men and play rugby.
I mean, you know, the thing is that I wish I could say that I was surprised, but, like, I look
No,
at
this is
spot, I'm
pretty
like,
par for the course.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
You know what you were doing. Like, this is...
That's hilarious.
There's any way to whip things up on the internet. It's like, yep, there you go.
I like people getting mad over a joke, but like
I just like the fact that it's called "It's a Soccer Ball."
yeah.
Like, that's the name of the mod. So, let's
what if
see.
you have to install It's a Soccer Ball to prevent the game from crashing?
The only way to make the game
They're
not
like,
crash.
I don't know what it is, but it fixes everything.
Todd Howard wrote some code in there to just be like,
that'd be amazing.
Yep. Let's see. Speaking of people getting mad about stuff, there's a really interesting story about a Japanese visual novel creator. So in Japan, there was a visual novel that was called Apathy Murder Club that was put out by this creator called Shannon, all in uppercase letters.
Yeah.
And when they put it on, I just wanted to tell this story because I think it goes a lot to show how different things are in different places in the world. So they put up this visual novel on Steam, and then they put out a thing saying, please do not stream or record videos for this until August 3rd. So the game itself came out, let's see, when was it? It was like July 24th. So they wanted people to basically take, like,
What is that?
Like a week and a half.
Yeah.
To be like,
That's
so that
crazy.
people can see this and there's no spoilers out there. The game, by the way, is completely Japanese. You can't even see it on the English Steam store. It doesn't have a translation or anything.
Okay.
So some dude in Japan then immediately bought the game, downloaded the game, and streamed it with all of the endings. However, in Japan, this is not like... Japan doesn't fuck around.
Yeah.
Like somebody streamed all of Steins Gate, which is like a visual novel that was then turned into an anime, and they were like arrested and convicted and put in prison for it.
Holy shit.
like when I say not fucking around, I mean like no, really not fucking around.
Because in the States that'd be like a tisk, wish you didn't do that sort of deal.
You'd have to take somebody to court and prove so much in order to try to prosecute them. So the creator got real mad and came at them. And this is the part of the story that I think is amazing. They basically were like, I will take you to court. I will put you in prison for doing this.
Yeah.
So that person immediately took down their videos. And so you think, okay. But the creator is still very mad. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because they didn't apologize.
I mean...
And like, they're like, so I'm still going to pursue legal action against them because they didn't like issue an apology along with their retraction.
I mean, honestly, if it's like a known thing and you're trying to skirt around it in that I'm not touching you kind of way of like, well, but I took it down right when you said to, so now you can't get me. It's a little... I mean, wanting an apology is not like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's polite, at least.
The creator did come back and say that they're not like, so the question then from there was like, okay, so are you going to like go to war with streamers?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying this? And they said, this is all machine translated, by the way, because they made no official English statements. I don't make games for people to, oh no, wait. Basically, they came out and said, like, I'm not planning on trying to, like, go to war with streamers. What? I have no intention of fighting with game commentators, and it's true that there are some very good game commentators out there. However, they're still taking the other guy to court. So, I don't know, man. Just like, sometimes in America, we don't take for granted how dumb free speech, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, do whatever the fuck you want a lot of times tends to come back on us to do, like, for bad reasons. Yeah. But, like, nobody's taking me to court. And I've been doing this shit for 11 years.
But, oh, man, sometimes it's like you'll, with movies or games where the companies or the people making it are like, please just give us a week so people can enjoy it, and then they don't, and it's like, I wish you were in prison. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know, like, part of me, the thing is that the spoiler stuff, the spoiler culture in America is so loose and stupid that, like, I've kind of just given up. Like, actually, I've managed to cultivate my feeds in a way that I don't see a lot of random shit. So I don't get that too often. Like, you talking about stuff in Deadpool Wolverine. I don't know anything about Deadpool Wolverine. Like, I just don't go on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch or and then my YouTube recommendeds are like politics and not pop culture stuff. And every time it tries to put pop culture, I mute that channel immediately.
Enough, I mean, and I'm slowly pulling away from all of it, but oddly enough, most spoilers, like things I don't want and don't want to know, come from people I know in person or online, where they'll like, people have this real issue with, I want to be the first one to make a meme or to use a meme. And sometimes that means the ending of this movie has a joke. I'm going to use that joke as a meme, and it's like, okay, do you understand that you've just spoiled the movie so that you can be guy with meme first?
Right.
Like, that's it. Versus, like, I'm not watching streamers and I don't watch movie reviews, and I don't, you know what I mean? So like, that doesn't happen, but yeah.
Let's see another internet online fighting news.
Hell yeah.
The Assassin's Creed subreddit has put out a statement saying that they will no longer entertain threads about whether Yasuke, the guy from the new Assassin's Creed game, was an actual samurai.
Oh my god.
Because it's become this whole thing, and they're just like
there's been 8,000 threads on it.
Right.
Read one of those.
Well, they basically what they've done is kind of, I think, like last week there's a whole thing where they came out, they had to apologize because they used some logos from this group in Japan without asking first, and then they said no, and there's a whole thing. But like, there's a big kerfuffle about this. There's a bunch of people online who are mad about the black samurai thing. They're like, actually, he wasn't a samurai, he was a retainer. Actually, he was blah blah blah. Actually, blah blah blah.
It's a video game.
That's what Ubisoft is basically like.
Game,
yeah, this is like made up. This is made up. Like it's a franchise about a bunch of mythical assassins.
It's like a science fiction historical like video. Like chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Like Assassin's Creed 2's big revelation is about Atlantis and their magic that is still around in the world.
Yeah.
This is not a historical documentary.
Yeah.
And it never claimed to be.
Yeah.
Like it always says this is a work of fiction at the beginning. So like
yeah. Fucking chill.
Yeah. So I'm all in favor of that. Another thing that Ubisoft did that I can actually say good things about. So you know that like yellow paint that they put on the side of things to indicate where you can climb up in levels?
Yeah.
The new Star Wars game that's coming out at the end of the month is going to give you an option to turn all of those yellow paints off so that you can like, because a lot of people don't like that because they think
I need it because I'll get lost.
Well, so the argument goes like, I don't want that paint turned on because I'm not a baby. And then the person replies, well, I need the paint turned on because modern level developers are bad about actually signposting what you can do. And so I would never know that you could go up on that ledge unless you put the big yellow paint there. I
see both sides, but that's why you make it so you can or...
Yeah.
That's why you make it optional.
Make it optional. So there you go. Yeah. That's...
yeah. This is also why I think like Souls-like games should have the I'm a baby option, because I just want to be able to enjoy a game and I don't want it to be mean to me.
I don't know. If Souls games had a I'm a baby option, do you think you would actually play them?
I'm sorry. Another Crab's Treasure has a one-shot kill gun and it's enjoyable as fuck to play.
Well, there you go. All right.
How dare you?
How dare I?
How dare you?
How dare I, sir?
I want to be a crab holding a gun. I want every Souls game. I want to like jump into like Bloodborne.
Yep.
And I want it to be like, dang, this game's too hard. Let me put on the baby thing and then turn into a crab with a gun.
You already have a gun in Bloodborne, though.
Yeah, but I want to be a crab.
Jeff, it's more about being the crab than it is about having the gun.
I just want to be kind of a cutie patootie little sea creature.
Fair enough. All right. Well, speaking of Elden Ring, Elden Ring put out a patch last week that addressed a bunch of things, but they did one big thing that everybody in the community has been asking them to do for a long time. I will have to explain mechanics of Elden Ring for 1 minute. So in Elden Ring, you have a horse, and if you're in a boss fight and your horse gets hit, your horse dies. Torrent can't come back.
Yeah.
So that if you try to use the whistle to bring Torrent back, it brings up a menu that says use a flask to revive Torrent ? Okay, or cancel. And by default, cancel is highlighted. So when you're in the middle of a fight
and you're just like spamming buttons and trying to make this happen,
you get creamed by a boss and you're like, I need to get the fuck back on my horse to get away from this dragon.
Yeah.
And then you do it and it brings up a menu and you're like, why isn't my horse up? Oh, right, there's a menu. And then like, and then you hit a button and then it cancels it and you're like, shit, I got to do it again. They have now made it so that okay is like the default option.
Yeah.
So that you could just get your fucking horse back, because the answer is mostly yes.
Yeah.
If I need a horse, I need the horse.
I imagine they initially thought that people would be mad because they spammed the button and then they're using a flask.
Yep.
But it seems like, people went, actually, I'm willing to use that flask.
Maybe there should be an option about where do you want the cursor to be when it comes up so that you could pick. But anyway, outside of that, there's a whole bunch of other buffs. They buffed out a lot of the stuff from the DLC. A lot of the spells from the DLC got a lot more powerful. So
nice.
Also, I just wanted to mention this. Armored Core 6 got a report where they said that it surpassed 3 million units sold.
Nice.
Is that
an expected thing for Armored Core? I don't know what their audience
So the last Armored Core, the last data that we have for sales on Armored Core is an Armored Core 2 on the PS2, which apparently did about 800,000 units in its lifetime, over the entire life of the game.
Oh,
wow. This is good.
Yeah,
it
that's
was a smaller
good compared
game.
to that. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm assuming that they were able to eke out, I don't know, $80 million, $100 million out of that. It was like $180 million if you do $60 times 3 million sold. And then, you've got to take off sales and marketing and the cut that the developers get. So I'm saying if you guys manage to take home $80 million off of that, then hey, that's,
there you go.
It was like 2 or 3 years worth of development. Which is good because I want more Armored Core. God damn it.
Give me another one. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get more of that coming soon. You've done the DLC for Elden Ring. Skies are wide open. You've made every other Armored Core game has had 2 entries. Do it.
Do it.
Earth Defense Force 6 came out this week. And people are mad on Steam. I don't know how the fuck this happened, but okay. You buy the Steam version of Earth Defense Force 6. You install the Steam version of Earth Defense Force 6. You go to launch the Steam version of Earth Defense Force 6, and the game says, please log into your Epic Games account. Which Steam users do not like to do.
Yeah.
Because they don't want they don't want information on Epic for a variety of reasons, some good, some bad. And they're like, why? Yeah. I bought it here. I'm playing it here. This isn't a D3 account. This isn't this isn't the publisher. This is another American publishing services game account. I'm logged into Steam. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So it came out and instantaneously was review bombed like fucking crazy.
That's kind of annoying.
Which is a little annoying, but also Matt and I played that game, and it really looks like a PlayStation 4 game that should have come out a long time ago. So
that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. So anyway, they've come out and said that they are going to revisit that and try to take it out. Obviously, something they can't just yank out on a moment's
Get rid of it.
So
like a Band-Aid, you just gotta
Taco Cabana has
a flaming hot Cheeto. I'm so glad you said something. It's an ad on the
a beef taco with a bunch of flaming hot Cheetos shoved in it.
I was like, God, what the fuck?
Part of the street food fest. Is that what it is now? As you go to Mexico and they're just like, do you flaming hot?
Yeah,
flaming hot?
obviously.
Flaming hot? Not like we have salsas or jalapenos or anything. We just shove a bunch of Cheetos inside of your taco.
Is that not like a normal thing?
No.
That's so, I'm so glad you said something because I've been staring at it like, I couldn't tell it was Taco Cabana for a second. I'm like, Taco Bell has been doing some weird shit. And then it turned out to be Taco Cabana.
I went to Taco Bell and I got the Crunchwrap with the cheese in it. And I couldn't find a cheese it, and I found a bunch of reports online that apparently the ground beef and hot cheese and stuff will melt it.
Yeah, so that cheese it is paper thin, and it just feels like it just disintegrates. And I was promised a real fucking Cheez-It, and it is not. It doesn't even taste like a real Cheez-It.
It would be better if you put a handful of Cheez-Its inside of my cheesy gordita.
I was like, God.
Yep.
Yeah. I tried it once. I said I didn't regret trying it, but I would not bother paying money for that ever again.
Here's a quick story. Oh, God, we don't have time. Here's a quick story. So, Gary's Mod. You know what Gary's Mod is?
Yes, for Team Fortress?
Yeah, well, Half-Life. It was basically for... You do a lot of weird stuff, a lot of crazy...
We've talked about Gary's Mod before, and every time I say Team Fortress...
Yep. It's got a lot of...
It's just my brain.
Machinima stuff that happened in it.
Yeah.
One of the things that mod is used for is making Skibidi Toilet.
Yeah.
So Skibidi Toilet, very popular with the youths.
Yeah, I don't
Last
know
week,
why.
We had the news that Michael Bay's production company is apparently involved with making a series based on Skibidi Toilet.
Sure.
Having watched Skibidi Toilet, I can tell you that makes perfect sense because it's stupid and it's full of explosions and it's mostly nonsensical and it's pretty much all vibes and it's for 18-year-olds. Who better than Michael Bay?
Yeah.
This week, Gary Newman, the maker of Gary's Mod, was hit with a DMCA strike to take all of the Skibidi Toilet characters out of Gary's mod.
Because of the movie that's coming out?
Titan Cameraman, Titan Speaker Man, Skibidi Toilet. And then this was done on behalf of the copyright holder, Invisible Narratives, LLC, which is Michael Bay's production company.
Wow.
And they registered Skibidi all this stuff as a trademark last week. And so Gary, having done this dance before, was, I think...
many a times.
just basically went to Twitter and was like, what was it he wrote? It was just like the sheer balls of this, basically.
Yeah. Please tell me, is that... Sup, y'all?
So then the Gary's Mod guy got in touch with the dude what makes Skibidi Toilet.
Yeah.
And said, like, hey, can you do anything about this? At which point the Skibidi Toilet guy, defuck boom, because we're talking about 12-year-olds here.
Yeah.
Basically, no, he saw this and then got in touch with Gary and then got in touch with the production company and was like, do not fuck up the person whose software I use to make these.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
This is how I make these. Don't do that.
Yeah. That's weird, stupid, weird.
And so then it got resolved and everybody's fine. But yeah, I love the idea.
Kind of reminds me of like when YouTube used to copyright strike like companies for their own trailers.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Because they would just like, we're helping.
Right.
It's not helping. You're making things worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Okay, lightning round. Suicide Squad might be bringing back all the characters. The Suicide Squad kills the Justice League might be bringing back the Justice League characters.
Yay.
Part of the... Well, it was weird... Okay, gotta do it fast. Okay, at the end of the game, all the Justice League people are dead. Brainiac is there. The end game of Suicide Squad kills Justice League is that there are 13 Brainiacs throughout the multiverse, and you have to go fight each one of them in turn in order to actually defeat Brainiac.
Yeah.
Because just defeating one Brainiac is not enough because he's a multiversal entity. Their seasons were supposed to address this. So each season you were going to get a new character.
Brainiac.
And then a new Brainiac. So you got the Joker for the first one, and then there was a lady. So it was weird because the second season was Mrs. Freeze, and I thought, oh, they did a reversal where the Mr. Freeze is the one that's frozen and his wife is the one in the suit.
Yeah.
No, it's still Nora in the tank, and it's like a lesbian couple, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like this
Why not?
other lady. I was like, oh, but what? Like, it was so in my brain, it worked so well. It's just like let's just flip roles,
flip it.
right?
Yeah,
like,
well, you know.
But apparently at the end of the second season, they have a whole thing where after you beat the Brainiac, then the Flash shows up in this dimension and like passes out, and then the Justice League grabs him and they take a bunch of pictures of him passed out doing stupid shit, and they put him in like suspended animation.
Weekend at Bernie's him.
Yeah. So the idea is that the bad versions of the Justice League might have been like clones or something, and that the Justice League is actually there. And I'm like, you know what? I wish you guys had not decided that the only way to see that ending to the game was with 13 months worth of extended gameplay where you have to go back every month to play more.
All you got to do is wait a year and a month and you're there, baby.
Because honestly, I feel like people would have had a lot less problems with this video game if they just done that.
Yeah.
Because as it is, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, and with this idea of like, and now you're just going to have to grind for hours and hours to see what the end of this game is. So
yeah.
Anyway,
weird.
I'm sad that this game couldn't get its shit together because like, I don't know, man. I'm watching the Suicide Squad Isekai right now, and it's pretty good.
John's
like,
been watching that.
You know,
it's so silly.
All right. Here we go, super fast. That Blockbuster Incorporated game that Jen and I played has added a Deadpool and Wolverine skin as actor skins into the game. They're called Clawman and Iconic Samurai, and you can now use them to make your own Deadpool and Wolverine things in the game. I think that's a great idea. I think if they can keep up with that, if they can keep making advancements to that game, and then keep adding pop culture,
that's perfect.
skins, like because it looks like it didn't take a lot. It's like an afternoon of work to make these skins. That's Perfect.
Yeah.
Do that. Keep doing that.
Yeah, that'll get you an audience for sure. Bunch of weirdos.
Speaking of cute shit, Subnautica has a thing. So at the end of Subnautica, you blast off of the planet, and you get an option to set what's called a time capsule, where you can put a few items and a picture and a message in a thing, and as you're blasting off at the end of the game, you shoot the time capsule back down. Other people can find those in their games, and they can open them up, and there'll be resources and a little note from another player.
Nice.
Cute concept, right? Turns out the Subnautica team has been hiding screenshots of the sequel in those time capsules.
That's awesome.
And people are just now, they keep looking at them going like, this is nowhere in the game.
Yeah.
But because time capsules are mostly found by new players that are starting the game, they wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
And so they've been doing it for months, and finally some
fucking trolls.
old heads are like, this is not in this game, nor is it in the sequel. So,
that's cool. That's fun.
It's a pretty fun way to do stuff.
Yay.
No. Castle Crashers is getting a DLC where you can make your own characters. Basically, cool. I know it's so weird that Castle Crashers is 1 million years old.
Yeah.
But they just had the Behemoth just had a fest where they put out a bunch of stuff, and one of them,
Battle Block Theater.
Battle Block Theater on Steam is getting quality of life update with better graphics, sound, bug fixes, and more.
Thank you.
So,
because it just feels like everything else they keep moving to new consoles and stuff.
Yep.
But they're not doing it with Battle Block.
So, but the interesting thing about this is that I think this painter boss thing
that's kind of
allows you to import stuff.
Yeah.
So you can just import Mario's head and Mario's body and then just make a Mario.
Yeah.
But as long as you do it and they don't do it, okay.
Nothing you can do. I made my guy kind of look like a guy.
Yeah. So, but that's pretty cool. Even though Castle Crashers is so old.
I know, but it's not exactly a game that requires modern feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
And last, before we go on break, Jonathan Blow has come out, and there was the Braid Anniversary Edition that came out where they redid all the graphics to look very nice. And they did commentary and they did whatever. And apparently it just didn't sell worth a damn. Nobody bought it. It sold like shit to the point where his company may not exist.
Oh, that sucks.
Because the last game they put out was The Witness in 2016. And they've got stuff they're working on, but this is one of those indie game takes 10, 15 years to make my passion project thing. And you got to have money that comes in during that time if you want to have employees.
Yeah, I'm guessing they thought Braid was going to give them a decent chunk of change to work with.
I think they thought it was going to have a bump, but I don't know. I played it with John on Patreon, but I don't know that anybody gives a shit about Braid right now. It was big at the time, but it's kind of like saying there's DLC for Castle Crashers, and you're like, cool.
Yeah, people are still playing that.
Are you going to go download Castle Crashers? No. Absolutely not. I have modern games to play, so. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, we got some trailers, we got some release dates, then we'll be done, so stick around.
Bye.
And before we get into the trailers, because we do have a lot of trailers this week, there's one more news story that I went to save. So last week, the Xbox 360 store was shut down. This was just buying stuff on the Xbox 360. If you wanted to buy Xbox 360 games backwards compatible, you can still do that through the Xbox One or the Series X store. It was just this one shutting down because, honestly, who needs to buy... I'm not saying that nobody is using an Xbox 360. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But who needs to buy black on the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Who needs to buy Bionic Commando Rearm 2?
And do I think it should be available all times forever and ever? Yes.
Yes.
Do I think it's a realistic thing for them to divert manpower for this to keep going and going? I mean, no.
I said last week, and I think I'll say it again, that I think that what they should do is they shouldn't shut these stores down. They should just make it so that 3 people a day can go to the store, and that like if you want to go to the store and buy something, you can like get a ticket for
you have to make
tomorrow.
an appointment. Yeah.
And then if they see a lot of people doing it, then they can just like, this is the Microsoft store. They run Azure. That's like cloud computer storage.
Yeah.
You can like spool up a few more entries to give people more tickets to get them on faster. Good news. You've been moved up in line. Feel free. But like if you're looking to go buy old games on the 360, it's like I still think you should, but it shouldn't have to be a huge priority.
Yeah.
You should be able to sunset some of that from time to time. Anyway, somebody at GameStop thought it would be a real fun day to get shitty. So they made a tweet where they said somebody screenshotted like that the store had been shut down. And they said, end of an era. And GameStop replied to them saying, bet y'all wish you bought physical copies now. And the clowning on GameStop was immense.
I bet.
And
GameStop
immediate.
fucking sucks.
Well, first off, they were like, how could I buy how would I have physical copies of games when you guys bought them all from me for $10 for like 2 cents on the dollar for trading credit? You harangue me every time I go in to bring in my old games for trading credit, and then you're like, lol, why don't you have any physical games anymore? Because of you.
Yeah.
And then also people made like, there was one tweet that I saw that was great that was just like a picture of an old GameStop like before they became the Funko Palace. There was just all these walls of different games, and then like, what does it look like now? And it's like Funko Pops and fucking bullshit. So yeah. Also, I'd never heard this before. Somebody from GameStop, who knows whether this is true, they tweeted saying they used to work at a GameStop, and if a game was considered too old and they decided they couldn't sell it anymore,
they had to cut it.
They destroyed it and then threw it away.
I known a few people that worked at GameStop, and they've said that. Yeah, like they wouldn't even.
It's like when like grocery stores put a lock on the dumpster because they're throwing away something that expired yesterday.
If a book gets a different cover,
oh yeah,
the Barnes and Noble employees got to rip up those books.
Yep,
baby.
gotta rip those books.
You can't. Heaven forbid you donate them to people that need them or give them to people that want them.
We're trying to make money over here, Amanda. I don't know about you, but we're trying to make money. Anyway, speaking of making money,
that's why when we decide that we can't use a video, we print it out and then we rip each frame.
Yes. I go into Adobe Premiere and I put a cut every 4 seconds.
We take a sledgehammer to the screens of our computer, and then we have to get a whole new computer.
That's why patreon.com/RageSelect is the best investment you'll ever make.
You gotta help us, guys.
I don't have enough screens, you guys.
We do it in one take. There's no editing. Otherwise, Jeff destroys a laptop.
Pretty true. We got our first trailer for the Like a Dragon Yakuza series that is coming to Prime Video.
When I see one.
Yep. A lot of it, most of it is just watching a tattoo needle with the, like, making the big dragon that's on Kiryu's back in the thing. In between, there's some, like, live action stuff. I think this looks bad. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the guy they have to be Kiryu.
Yeah.
He is like a very kind of pop idol pretty guy.
Yeah.
And Kiryu is a very just like this stone-faced perma scowl. He's got resting Yakuza face.
Yeah.
And then it's all about like, oh, it's a prequel, so he was like an underground fighter and they're doing all this different stuff. It's kind of the thing that I've hated about video game adaptations for a long time, where they're like, well, we can't just make a 1-to-1 adaptation.
Yeah.
We've got to like interpret it. And I'm like, no, but that's not what I'm here for.
Don't interpret it less.
Yeah. Maybe less interpretation.
Maybe,
So I don't know. There's actually not a lot here. Yeah. There's not a hell of a lot to look at. But I'm not getting a good vibe.
Yeah.
I just need a bigger dude. Also, I think I'm getting the feeling that it might not be goofy, whereas there's just some goofiness to Yakuza.
Maybe there needs to be another teaser. Trailers are never like the best.
True.
So maybe like a full trailer or like a scene or something.
Very true.
Will like show you the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so
the guy's too pretty.
He is too pretty. That's not what Kieran
I like my men to be rugged.
We also got Comic-Con. We got a big announcement trailer for Mortal Kombat 1: Chaos Reigns.
Yeah.
So,
Ketchup, mustard, Ghostface, they're all there.
Yep. So Chaos or Havoc, the guy with no lips who can somehow talk correctly. At the end of the last Mortal Kombat, there was a teaser involving him that seemed like they were going to do.
He should talk like Fire Marshal.
Fire Marshal Bill?
Yeah.
So at the end of Mortal Kombat 1, there was a teaser that indicated that there might be more story with him.
Right.
It looks like they're doing the same thing they did with Aftermath, where they are putting out a whole next section with new fighters and a new story and a bunch of new stuff. And so we got a full trailer for it. One of the big things that people are a little salty about is Cyrex and Sector are here. And now they are, ladies.
They're here and they're her.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also appear to be like wearing suits. Like there's a bunch of places where they open up like their face mask. They're talking. So in the old Mortal Kombat, when they were cyberized, they were turned into like kind of monster killing machine Terminators. Whereas here it looks like it's a little bit more.
Maybe those ladies found the originals and killed them and took their suits and made them into cute outfits.
Well, also, as everybody has pointed out, Mortal Kombat 1 is about multiverses.
Yeah.
It literally takes place in a different universe than the original Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything is already totally different. So, yeah.
So you guys are weird for questioning it.
Also, Noob Saibot is coming back. Noob Saibot is canonically Bihan, the original Sub-Zero, and that ties into the story of the original Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 1. For one, I don't like to play Mortal Kombat 1 because their extended mode isn't fun for me.
Yeah.
I think it straight up sucks, which is bad because they put out, Homelander and Omni-Man and Peacemaker, and I would wish there were towers to play those guys on, but there's not.
Yeah.
Well, there are, but they're not like the random towers. They're like, I don't know, just arcade. Anyway, I like NetherRealm storytelling stuff. I actually think they do storytelling better than any of the other fighting game guys. Havoc is a weird dude.
He was always kind of fucked up and weird.
Like there's a point in here where he rings a giant gong with his head because he likes to pull his head off a lot.
He's like a zombie-ish kind of thing.
I'm a big fan of the cyber ninjas, so I don't really, and I don't care. Like I just don't give a shit about
their like whatever their story is. Dude, I like Noob Saibot. He's cool as shit.
That's not how they were in the original one. I'm like, it's a multiverse story. I don't care. I had a lot of them in the original one.
Yeah.
So sure, to have some Cyrax and Sector that are ladies.
Also, you don't really want to start getting into nitpicking NetherRealm stuff because like that can really get you somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I will probably buy this when it comes out. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I wonder how long it's going to be, but I don't know. Probably play it. And then they also released, this was all leaked ahead of time, but the skins for the Season 2 Battle Pass are Ghostface, Conan the Barbarian, the T-1000.
That's right. Conan the Barbarian was
and then Cyrax, Sector, and Noob
Conan
Saibot.
will be fun.
I think they all work except for Ghostface doesn't work for me. Like he's a bloody character, but you're fighting like gods and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I can get Conan and the T-1000 fighting gods, but like Ghostface is just that one skinny dude from the first Scream, right? So it's two
Matthew Lillard or Skeet Ulrich. Yeah.
Right, like,
oh no, I'm being attacked by Skeet Ulrich.
I don't see Matthew Lillard beating, Cyrax.
Yeah. He couldn't beat Sydney.
Right.
Like, come on, guys.
Like, Drew Barrymore almost got away in the first 10 minutes
right?
of that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and her parents just fucking looked around. They would have caught him.
Yeah. So, anyway, whatever. I mean, it's fine. But, it's still just a thing. But then they also did me so dirty, Amanda.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the other things that's happening is they're bringing back animalities. So
Yay.
Animalities are when your character turns into an animal.
Liu Kang turns into a dragon.
Yep. And then you get to kill people. They showed
turn into a hippopotamus.
There's a bone T-Rex.
Yeah.
There's like 2 wolves.
Inside me, there are 2 wolves. Both of them.
There's a scorpion.
Both of them are tearing apart Johnny Cage.
I wonder who the scorpion could be.
It could be anyone, honestly.
There's one that's a blowfish.
Oh, it's a blowfish. I was like, is that just like a pissed off porcupine in there?
But then, Amanda, they did me so dirty. I don't know why NetherRealm does this shit to me. So here's Melina, my main, right, that I like to use in Mortal Kombat, and her animality, she turns into a giant fucking mantis.
Oh my god, I couldn't have predicted that. Oh my god.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. I mean, I get why, but still, you fucks. You fucking fucks.
That had made my day, Jeff. I need you to know I had a really hard week, and this is the only thing getting me through it now.
I was watching it, and I was like, oh, cool, oh, cool, oh, cool.
I wonder who.
And then it went to Melina, and I was like, just stone face.
I'm never going to beat these allegations.
Fuck. For fuck's sake. So, yeah, that happened.
Oh, fuck.
The thing is, it's not even a meme anymore. Nobody even says it to me. It doesn't come up. And then they're like, oh, we're going to make it come up.
It's like deep fucking lore at this point.
Yeah. Like half the people listening to this, like, I don't even understand what that's about. Like,
only day ones know, baby.
Yep.
I love it.
Go back and watch FTL with Jason and Jeff. Fuck's sake. Oh, my God.
How do you not end on that, Jeff? That would have been the perfect end for this podcast. I have to talk about other boring shit now.
Well, you know, yeah. We also got the Season 7 Invasions trailer, which showed why I don't play the other mode in this, because it's like a bunch of bullshit, even though there is a part with a squirrel on a Roomba shooting at people.
That's amazing.
But
oh, fuck. I forgot about the mime.
Ninja Mime.
Yeah.
It's like this thing where you have to go around a map and you play like these 1-round gimmick rounds.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not fun.
They've always done weird shit like this, though.
But, like, you know, previously they had, like, the crypt.
Yeah.
And you would get, like, the things for the crypt by doing, like, a challenge tower where it's all fire-based.
Yeah.
So they would do the modifiers, but it was in a, like... And then you fight 12 people with these modifiers, and you've got to figure out how to overcome them.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. I would like to see how to do that with the Terminator.
Yeah.
And here they're just like, but what if it was a board game? And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that at some point maybe they realize their mistake and put some towers back in, but I'm not.
I am surprised because Mortal Kombat is like very tower based.
Again, it should be noted. It should be noted so that if somebody doesn't actually me, there is easy, medium, hard, and infinite tower that's basically arcade mode, but the previous game had like this multiverse of towers with different modifiers and themes and stage hazards.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. John used to play that all the time. It'd be like his not comfort, but you know when you're like, I don't know what I want to play, but I know I want to play something.
You just want to zone out for an hour.
And he would just like throw that on and play it, and it was so fun. And then like if something was too challenging, I would try, and then I would lose instantly, and then give it back to him. But it was super fun.
Injustice 2 had the like multiverse thing where you would go to different places with different characters, and I think that this is a pale imitation, mostly because every time you go to a thing, half the time it's not even a fight; it's like a weird course challengey of dodge these balls.
Yeah.
And then when it is a fight,
it's a little like Wipeout.
Yeah.
They're like American Gladiators or something. Like very
And then when it is a fight, it's usually one round. And I'm like, but I need more than one round.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe
that's not enough to wet my whistle.
Maybe they've updated it. Also, the stuff you get for doing it is just skins that I don't care about. So
yeah.
We got a big cinematic trailer for Marvel Rivals. This is the Overwatch Marvel game.
Right. Okay.
And you didn't get to watch any of these ahead of time, but like it's basically a bunch of like kind of Spider-Verse-esque little vignettes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got one with Rocket Raccoon and the spider. What's her face? The one that was in the Spider-Verse that's the mech spider lady from the future.
Spider.
I don't remember what her specific name is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a little vignette with like Thor and Loki and like Doctor Doom is there. It seems like part of this is going to be a Doctor Doom versus Doctor Doom multiverse thing.
Yeah.
Where there's like two, because there's a part in here where they show two Doctor Dooms like walking up with kind of slightly different outfits and being
one
like,
of them Tony Stark.
I wish they hadn't made such a fucking deal out of that shit. I would have been really surprised if that had happened.
Would have been cool to. Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel whole ways about it, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm the one that brought it up.
So it looks. I mean, like I like the art style for this, and apparently a lot of the people playing in the beta.
Beefy, what the hell?
It looks like a Viking warrior.
Yeah, it looks great. I love that.
And I can't tell if the other one's supposed to be like Doom 2099, maybe. But
yeah, I get that vibe.
It looks pretty cool. Like, and a lot of the early stuff from it has been that it plays pretty well too. And I'm just like, hey man, you know what? If you could make something that plays like old school Overwatch.
Yeah, and it's Marvel, so it's characters that I already feel comfortable with. Yeah. Honestly, I am not against it.
I'm not against it. Also, Amanda,
bring Squirrel Girl, you fucking coward. Sorry, just had to.
I got no Squirrel Girl, but I do have something else for you that may convince you to play this, because they announced another character at SDCC.
Is it Throg?
Nope.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Is it Shulk? She-Hulk? Oh, it's Jeff.
It is Jeff the Land Shark.
Yeah, I know Jeff.
And the trailer is just like a picture of him, and then
he
just kind of like is doing a little like singing this little song.
Yeah, he's cute.
And like doing his little like feedy like a dog kind of thing.
He's a fucking cutie patootie.
Yeah.
I'm not like a diehard Jeff fan.
Yeah.
Just any Jeffs. But
generally speaking, I think all Jeffs are kind of pieces of shit. But the Land Shark. That one's okay.
But he's cute. Like, he's top tier, man. I love him. But I'm not like.
You put him in like the A of the cute tier ranking.
Yeah, like I ain't never mad when Jeff shows up.
Yeah. Well, who is he? What is he from?
I don't even remember.
Because like they when they announced him with like Thor, I think, or like it was like Jeff and Thor will join the closed beta test. I wasn't sure whether he was like a Thor thing or just something else that showed up and people liked it.
I think he was like a West Coast Avenger or something.
Okay.
He was Gwenpool's pet.
That would make sense. And that's why he's got the pink and white collar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes he has like more Deadpool, Gwenpool like looking stuff, but yeah, he was like, to me when I was reading, he was like a real side character, like not. No one really paid attention. It was just like a cute thing, and then everyone just sort of got so enamored that they couldn't help but love him. But yeah, I know him more as like they use him more as like meme bait than anything, and that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Let's see from there.
They should have like a whole Pet Adventures thing though, because like I fucks with Lockjaw. Like, let's get Lockjaw.
Oh, sure. We got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Season 5 combat pack. I only put this in here because it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like a Roman gladiator, but like this is a game that
I'm gonna no-scope you with this sword, baby.
And then they show it, and it's like a Roman gladiator running around with a machine gun shooting people.
Oh, this is
and
a weird alternate history.
It looks stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it looks real dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it just dumb as fuck. Like, you guys are out of ideas kind of shit.
Yeah, this is a little like somebody like random generated a couple of words and put it together.
Yeah. I don't know. I put it in here to laugh at.
It could be fun. It ain't.
I mean, it's just a skin. And you're just going to play Modern Warfare, but with the weird gladiator skin. Let's see. We got the launch trailer for Dead Link, which is getting really good reviews. It's kind of like cyberpunk first-person action game with like roguelike elements where you're playing as like a robot. Or like you're piloting a robot or something.
Do you get to design your robot?
I think you get to do like upgrades and stuff. I think it's part of the roguelike. I can't tell. It's got really good reviews, but then when I look at the trailers for it, I mean, this is like a challenge mode.
Yeah.
The like regular action for it looks a little like meh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Apparently it's like the new big thing on Steam that everybody's a big fan of right now. So
I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It looks like it'll give me a headache.
Like a lot of neon.
Yeah, it was just
punching and powers.
Like a lot of flashing going on at the same time. So the futuristic stuff right now, especially like cyberpunky futuristic stuff that people do, they like, what if like day glow colors vomited in your face?
Sure.
And that's like, I get it and I like the vibe, but like if I get kind of sensitive, headachy, it's just like I can't even look at it.
What is it? The thing I've seen, people are tired of minimalism, and so now we're going to maximalism.
I love maximalism. It's when it's like neon and flickering. That's just like overdoes it for me.
Well, video games also have to be really careful about that, right? Like especially high speed and especially stuff from first person because they can just induce all kinds of headaches and garbage.
Well, we played that one game. It was like a roguelike, and you had to go. It was real 80s like.
Oh, Mullet Mad Jack?
Mullet Mad Jack.
That was a nightmare.
That one was really hard. And I've like suggested it to other people who like those sorts of games. And I'm like, but like, if you get headaches, if you're prone to like motion sickness in video games, it might not be for you.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to take a look at this at some point, but...
Yeah, I'm down to try if it's getting good reviews. I'll do anything at least once.
Speaking of first-person online games, I probably should put these in a different order. We got a little animated thing for Concord. This is that weird online multiplayer game that Sony is making that they are marketing the shit out of.
Yeah.
And it's a little vignette with like 3 of the characters kind of doing a little action thing. But then the weird thing about it is it's all rendered in this like kind of light cell shaded, like the game itself is much more like textured and it has more shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
This is like the 3D models have like black outlines around them and stuff. I don't know. It was a nice little like 2-minute vignette, even though it's hard to make a lot of stakes in those 2 minutes because like the main guy, there's like a elf lady or something.
She's like a cat?
Elf cat lady.
She got a tail.
There's like an older dude. And
this is like this reminds me of people trying to get me to watch animes in like the 90s where it'd be like, I don't understand what I'm looking at.
It makes more sense if you can hear all the dialogue and stuff because it's a little vignette story. But the thing is that it's like it's not with any of the characters. It's not with any of the characters that we've seen in any of the other promos. The like kind of Star-Lord looking guy with the green skin, and there's like the big robot. There's like a guy with the red face, the big like hulky looking dude.
Yeah.
And so it's like other characters, and I guess they also put out a bunch of individual like vignettes about characters, but this is the one that I chose. I don't know. Everybody's thinking that this is probably going to be a colossal failure.
Really? Just because of how hard they're like trying to get you hyped for it? And
well, I think it's one of those things where it's like, you know, now is not the time for a new live service online multiplayer adversarial game. That's not what people are really into. Then there's a lot of people on the internet. It somehow got caught up in the whole like it's woke thing. I think because there's like some.
Oh my god! You guys have to come up with better reasons to not like things because that's like the laziest fucking.
I think it's because there's some bigger characters and there's some lady characters and they're just I don't know.
Gross.
I don't
women
really know.
in video game.
I don't really understand.
Yeah, that's lazy. Come up with a better argument.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out soon though. So
soon.
Back to EDF. We got the launch trailer for EDF 6. Which is out now. I
will never give in.
I don't know. It's like I do like the fact that apparently the bad guys are now a lot more like bleedy, so they can like spray blood on the side of buildings.
Hell
and like
yeah.
Matt and I, when we played it, there's like a giant. Like
we're gonna paint the town red.
Just giant frog dudes, like these giant frogs with a gun. They're like the first guys you come at. And the first time I
look out, he's got a gun.
The first time I shot at them,
in my head it was Kermit.
I shot at one of them with a rocket launcher, those guys, and it hit him in the legs, and it blew both of the frog's legs off, and then it fell down and then kept shooting at me.
Oh my god!
With its legs off, bleeding on the ground, and I was like, I don't know.
I feel really weird about that.
I don't know if this is the level of realism I want in an Earth Defense Force game.
It's supposed to be a little more fun than that, not.
Yeah. But anyway, it's out. It's full price, so maybe wait for it to go on like Game Pass or something, or Xbox or PlayStation Plus. I know that everybody's been wondering, but we finally got the story trailer for Funko Fusion.
Oh, thank God.
It's all about some guy named like Ed. Is it Ed? Eddie. The dark meet Eddie with the dark ability to possess the inhabitants of Funko Fusion's pop culture inspired worlds. Eddie is building an army of corrupted characters from franchises, including Jurassic World, Back to the Future, The Thing, Chucky, and many, many more. I don't know. At first, I thought this was like a Sherman and Mr. Peabody thing because like the good guy kind of looks like.
But making a corrupt version of The Thing.
Yeah.
Is just The Thing.
That's just The Thing.
That literally. How does that? But what?
Apparently, you put like purple lightning around the eyes of guys, and they're bad. Also, did you notice that was the like? This is why I don't like this game. Is like that's like the Gideon Graves from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
and I'm just like,
how the fuck would I know that? They all look exactly the same.
Well, I recognize the club because I watched this shit and I stopped it and I went, "Who the fuck is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's Gideon Graves."
That's fucking.
But
funny.
It's like, guys, that movie had like a point that wasn't a multiverse. It wasn't about slopping into the Golden Corral multiverse that you guys are doing. The same way with the fact that like you see that like Nope is in there, and it's like, guys, that's not what Nope is about.
Yeah,
like
that's a little.
Nope has a lot of stuff.
I think on principle, I'm never touch anything Funko.
Yeah.
So
this looks terrible.
How could it? The Thing. But how do you
and
do
like Hot Fuzz and like He-Man and like Freddy Fazbear. Wait, that wasn't even Freddy. Was that Freddy Fazbear or was that the like?
I don't know.
That was the robot dog from Battlestar Galactica, right? The Beady Beady Beady.
Oh my God!
Isn't that what that is?
Yeah, because you could see the
little things. Yeah, but then like it's just got things in it that I'm like. Back to the Future, He-Man, okay, sure, Battlestar Galactica, the Mummy, whatever. But then it's got like, Nope. And I'm like, but that's not a...
Yeah.
One of these is not like the other.
It makes me feel weird to see Jean Jacket like that.
Right. Very weird. Very weird.
I don't... like it. I also don't like Funkos, so the Umbrella Academy is in there. That's...
Xena Warrior Princess.
Really? Fuck.
Yep. Knight Rider.
Like Knight Rider.
Jaws.
I mean, in fairness, though, like, who's talking about Knight Rider?
I mean, like...
Megan.
Mithrigan is fine. You can put Mithrigan in there if you want. But
well, I like that Nope didn't have a logo, so they added the fucking cloud.
Just so you know what it is. So it wasn't just a thing that said Nope. So you didn't think, just don't buy this game. I don't know.
No.
Amanda, how long is it till we're all tired of multiverse slop? I'm already there,
like
personally.
4 years before WandaVision.
Okay. It was the...
I never liked the fucking as somebody who read comic books, multiverses ruin everything, and it's never fucking fun.
I read Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it wasn't as good as everybody keeps saying it was.
Yeah, the only thing that was good about it was that when you read it, you were 12 years old, and things were a lot better when you're a kid and don't have to pay bills.
However, I will say that this is weird. Star Trek Fleet Command is like an online... gotcha game, and they're doing a crossover with fucking Galaxy Quest where they're like putting the characters from Galaxy Quest into the Star Trek game, and I'm like, okay, well, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
That kind of makes sense.
Like, I actually would be interested in seeing like Lower Decks have an episode where Tim Allen's character from Galaxy Quest came to the Star Trek universe or whatever.
Fun.
Like,
isn't this Star Trek? I don't know if it's this, but I think this game is also doing a crossover with Doctor Who.
That's not no. I know what you're talking about. There's a YouTube video that came out that was like Star Trek X Doctor Who.
Yeah, and
it was like International Friendship Day.
Yeah,
and it wasn't actually a thing. It was like just a montage.
It was just a montage, and John and I were like, what the fuck does this even mean? And then like a week later, John said that it was for the like mobile games.
Oh, maybe.
And I was like, then why did they put it up?
Yeah. Let's see. Another movie game stuff at SDCC the Comic-Con. We got the Rogue Incursion trailer. This is the VR Aliens game. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They showed their main character, this character called Zula Hendricks. Apparently, part of the storyline is that she's been impregnated, and is basically just like gonna fucking take as many of these motherfuckers with her as possible.
I love that as a plot. She's like, bitch, I'm dying. You're dying too.
Yep. I found out there was a bunch of aliens here. We know what they are. They got me because I let my guard down. And so now I guess, like, let's see how many fucking guys I can kill before this thing happens.
Yeah, that's nice.
I can only imagine, though, how terrifying it would be in VR to look down and see your own chest
bursting.
Exploding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested in this. I think it's only on the MetaQuest, so I can't really play it.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong about that. I can't remember. I mean, it looks like an alien game. I really wish, though, Amanda, that we could get past aliens.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that we could get past. We've seen the iconography of the first two movies done to death.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we could just get a little bit. Some new idea. Oh, it's going to be on all of them, so I can play it on my PSVR.
Maybe get a little more. Maybe people need to make more alien-like movies. You know what I mean? Because like all we got was Predator, which isn't what Alien was, and Alien.
Right.
Maybe somebody should make something new. I'm no expert, but like maybe we should try something different.
Like a long leg, like some kind of long.
Those legs were long, man.
Aliens versus Predator versus long legs. Is that what?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we need Ghostface in it.
Sure, and Conan
as well, and yes.
Conan the Barbarian versus the aliens.
Yeah,
sure.
It's really funny that the T-1000 and Conan are in it together because it's Arnold, but it's not that Arnold. It's a different Arnold.
Well,
and then
he was in the last one. Terminator was in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I think. I didn't remember that. Yeah. But it was like old
also,
Terminator.
Maybe less. Yeah. Well, wasn't it his voice? Did Schwarzenegger do it?
I don't remember.
I know it's not Sylvester Stallone because it sounds like weird.
Oh, right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Next up.
Got distracted. My bad.
Wildermyth is getting a console release. This was a really big game that came out last year, and its big claim to fame. A lot of people wanted me to take a look at it on the show, but I just never really got a chance, and I wasn't sure how interesting it would be. But part of it is it's this very basic kind of like little papercraft art style, and it's like a tactics game. So you have a little papercraft, and then you do stuff, and then those papercraft characters get kind of put into little like cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
The big thing about the game is that it's a generational adventure game. So you'll go on an adventure, and then depending on what happens, then like the children of those adventurers will then go on the next generation. You'll run into like the children of other adventurers and stuff. So it's like this multi-generational thing where they're using their very kind of simple. The art style is good.
This art style looks so familiar to me. My heart went to like Doug Funny.
Oh, yeah, a little bit with the little dot eyes.
Fillmore, if anybody watched Fillmore as a kid.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, but that era of cartoons, you know what I mean?
Yes. I just worry a lot of times about putting something that's like tactics game on a RageSelect because they don't tend to be as interesting to watch.
Yeah,
so.
Not sexy, fun, and adventurous.
Yeah. But yeah, they're bringing it to consoles. I don't remember if it has. Yeah, October 22nd.
Kind of into it.
PS5, PS4. So got extremely good reviews last year as a PC only game. Let's see.
Yeah, but PC only people are weird, and they just like. Sometimes they just like stuff and they're not right.
On other PlayStation news,
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Don't get mad at me.
There's a demo out for Visions of Mana, which is the next like Mana game. People might remember the Super Nintendo game Secret of Mana. They did a remake of that. There was like some kind of remaster of one of the other ones. I went and looked this up a few things ago. There have been like 12 of these games in Japan, but they only brought like a couple of them over to the United States.
Well, in fairness, we don't deserve it.
Yeah. I think this looks pretty fun. Like it's just,
it's kind of cute.
Rolling around with some little animes.
Those animals that they're like fighting are so cute that I wouldn't want to fight them. I just want to.
You gotta wait until you see there's like a little slime with bunny ears. That's like one of the most common enemies.
Yeah, everything is fucking cute.
Everything's pretty cute.
Yeah, this is like a cutie patootie, except for this Kraken.
But there's a demo out, and you can you go check it out.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty good. August 29th. I won't put anything on the channel that's like coming out within 30 days of when the demo comes out for it. So
yeah. Secret of Mana was a group of friends that I was with, was their like drunk gaming game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we would just hang out and drink and they would play it.
Okay. We got a big update trailer for No Rest for the Wicked, which was the game being made by Moon Studios, the guys that made Ori and the Blind Forest, and it was like an early access game that's been really rough. It's kind of a top-down Diablo meets Souls style game, but it's got this very nice painterly look to it. They're adding the end game in this update. It's like a roguelike with different ways to get stuff, but they've also reworked they've reworked a lot of the like equipment system. They've redone some of the a lot of this trailer is explaining things that I don't know what they mean. It's like collect traces over 200 plus echoes.
Oh,
and I'm
fuck
like,
yeah, dude. I need more echoes in my life.
I don't know what that is, you guys. Like,
yeah,
you should
explain what that is.
You shouldn't lead with that, because then they start showing other stuff that's better.
That character, whatever it is.
They got the big head.
Yeah, dude, he's amazing.
So they've extended areas. They've done a lot of work on performance, which was one of the big things that people, like, it ran really poorly even on, like, max systems. They've got some new weapon types. But then the other big thing is they've got, you can see what the cinematics look like. They're very striking.
Oh, nice.
Like, the character design stuff are very striking.
They almost look not claymation in the like movements, but like the
design.
Yeah. They look like molded from clay and not drawn out.
But they also have done a lot of performance enhancement, because one of the other things is that it is now Steam Deck certified.
Nice.
So you can play it on the Steam Deck.
I need a Steam Deck.
Yep.
Patreon.com/RageSelect. Help me get a Steam Deck.
/Amanda.
Help me get a Steam Deck.
We also got the announcement trailer for The Life and Suffering of Prince Jerian. I'm mentioning this because this is like a follow-up to a game called The Life and Suffering of Sir Bronte, which is a kind of like a visual, not kind of like a choose your own adventure, but it's got a bunch more mechanics behind it than just a choose your own adventure. It's this kind of medieval world. Apparently it's got very good writing, and then there's like, you can kind of choose different paths, and there's like different things that can happen. That Watch Out for Fireballs show, they just did one about it. It was always like very well acclaimed, but it was also the sort of game where I'm like, I don't know if I can make a video out of this. I don't know if anybody's going to want to watch it.
Yeah.
But apparently it's very good, and this is like the follow-up to it that's in the same kind of a very strange world with like these very specific rules about like deities and magic and gods and stuff.
The funny thing is, watching this, the only thing I can think about is the guy looks like the vampire Lestat.
Oh, yeah.
And so and all the choices he makes and stuff also look like something a vampire would have to deal with. And I'm like, is this a secret vampire Lestat thing?
I don't think so.
Oh, I doubt it, but it's just like... Plus, the trailer for the show just came out, so it's all on my mind.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. I might have to.
I'm kind of into it.
I have to give one of these a try one day and just be like, hey, you know what, guys? We're going to try this, and if it doesn't work, womp womp. So, but yeah, they put it out, and nice to see they were doing something else.
Yeah.
Amanda, our next game has been announced.
Yeah, ours.
Yep.
We're playing it.
It's called Date Everything.
Oh my God! I was going to send you the link to this.
It's about a lady that's in her house and she gets a pair of glasses, and when she puts the glasses on and looks at stuff,
you can date whatever it is.
You can date all the
into a
stuff
thing
in your house. And when I mean that, I mean like
so funny.
Your dishwasher, your vacuum cleaner, but they're not like the thing. It's like they turn into like
a people version.
A version, yeah. So like your vacuum cleaner turns into a hunky dude, and your piano turns into like a sexy lady.
Yeah,
and
that is a sexy piano.
But it's like, it's weird because it's like I had a hard time when I was trying to figure out, like, this guy is just cabinets with dishes in them.
Correct.
And this lady pops
like
up who's a toaster.
Yeah.
And she just has like a toast guitar, or like your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Or your like
towels.
Like, I think that's okay. I think that guy.
She's laundry.
he's, I think, the washer, and she's like the clothes hamper. Or he might be the closet.
Yeah.
And she's like the clothes hamper, because there's a part later on in here where like they're arguing with each other about how could you betray me like that. And I'm like, so yeah, this looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm into it.
This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I like the picture of I'm
gonna fuck that piano.
I like the picture of the cabinet talking, and then behind him there's a picture of the cabinet riding a scooter.
Yeah.
But he's in cabinet form riding the scooter.
Your cabinets don't like go out?
No.
Just to, see the town?
Nope. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She is in like a basket, the hamper, and then
she's like wicker.
I guess he's a dryer because he's got that static cling.
Oh, he could be a dryer. Yeah. I was thinking because he just like clothes.
Yeah.
So I figured if he was a dryer, he'd have like a circle thing somewhere on him. But then if he was a wait, is he a pile of clothes?
Yeah, I think
she's the hamper and he's a pile of clothes.
That's amazing. He has a tattoo on his arms that are like the instructions on a.
Oh, it's like the tag on the back of like a dry clean only,
that's
machine wash, permanent press.
Fucking great.
It looks pretty cool.
This is so stupid. I'm into it.
And it looks like there's a lot of them.
I am not going to fuck my entire house. That's crazy.
Like there's
All
the
right,
toilet.
I'll do it. There's a fan. I'm a big metal fan.
There's
the
like
rubber duck.
The rubber duck.
Oh my God.
This guy's a power strip.
I bet he is.
I can't tell who this lady is, but she's like
water,
just water.
Yeah.
And then there's like
what? Some of these are more concerning than others.
Yeah,
one is straight garbage, though. I will say I saw him. In the very back, he has a banana on his head.
He's garbage bags.
He's garbage. Yeah, he's straight up garbage.
I can't figure out. This is like a cat clock, I think.
Okay, there's like a bunny girl over there.
Yeah, I can't tell what she is. I can't tell what she is.
She's like a leather sofa or something.
She's like Bellows, or I don't know. And I can't tell who this guy who just has like a bunch of
he's like
metal
floor tile or something.
Tile maybe. Anyway, we'll figure it all out at some point.
We'll figure it out and we'll date it.
We'll date it.
We're gonna end up with that rubber ducky. Honestly.
It's going to be horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad time, you guys.
Bad time. Stay tuned, everybody. Oh, boy.
That's a RageSelect slogan.
Guess what,
bad
everybody?
Time, stay tuned.
Bad times are coming. We got to go. We are out of time. Okay. I encourage everybody to go watch the 10-minute Promise Mascot Agency official gameplay deep dive. This is the latest game from the people who made Paradise Killer, which was you're an angel investigating a murder in heaven kind of visual novel game that people really liked. In this one, you are a Yakuza who has been banished to a countryside town where there are a bunch of mascots, but they're actual creatures. And in order to pay back a debt to the Yakuza, you have to gather them up and like reopen like the mascot agency to like book them for appearances, and then if they have a problem you have to like play this card game to like solve it, and it's all really strange. And in between you're driving a truck around with a giant it's a pinky, but it's like an actual finger pinky, and it looks real fucking weird. And I want to play it because... Is
that some kind of joke about, like, the Yakuza when you betray the Yakuza, they cut off your pinky?
I don't know.
It's a little chopped pinky.
I don't know. Maybe. It's got a lot of weird stuff.
That's definitely a gimp suit.
It's got a lot of weird stuff. There's, like, a dog. There's like, a crane game.
There's a crying tofu.
Yep. Anyway.
I'm into it.
It's coming out next year.
That's just weird enough to work for me.
Okay, I gotta start cutting stuff. Minecraft has a Tetris DLC, and I don't understand why.
Okay, I mean, blocks are blocks. You know what I mean?
Helldivers 2 has a new premium war bond that's all flame based, so it's all
hell yeah. Get your Guy Fieri on.
Flamethrowers, and then also flame shotguns, and also flame pistols, and also armor that reduces 75% flame damage so that you can play with your friends and not all torch each other to death.
It's not worth it then.
Yeah.
I'm only into it if I can light my friends on fire.
I still think it's great that Helldivers 2 is going. So
yeah.
Let's see. Game Pass is getting Mafia Definitive Edition next month on August 13th.
Nice.
So look out for that. Pretty fun stuff. Remnant 2 is getting a third DLC called The Dark Horizon. I really liked Remnant 2. It was a fun time. They had 2 that have been out already. They were supposed to do 3 DLCs in their first year, but they only did 2. And the third one is slipping to September, which is outside of the 1 year time frame. But they're like, but we want it to be good, so please forgive us. So,
forgive them,
which is great.
Don't be mean about it, guys.
Stalker 2 had a really funny little trailer. They are slipping their release date yet again. It was supposed to come out in September. It's going to come out in November. I have nothing but sympathy for Stalker because, it started development in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
But they did put out a little trailer where the commander comes over your radio and is like, attention all stalkers, the zone is closed until November. Take this time to get your stalking, to practice your skills for when that becomes available, over and out. And then the player character just says, are you fucking kidding me again? So they've at least got a sense of humor
about it. Yeah.
I think that as much time as they want, they should get.
Yep.
Microsoft is putting out, I got some controller news. Microsoft is putting out a translucent blue Xbox controller.
I haven't seen translucent since the 90s.
I am mad about this, Amanda, because I bought a new blue controller last week.
Just bought a blue
and I would have bought a translucent blue controller last week if I'd have known that it was a thing that I could do.
That's cool as shit.
So
reminds me of Mega Man for some reason.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's a little more expensive though. It's like $70. I got my new controller on sale for like $45, so I was like, I'm not too mad, but I'm still mad. I would have liked to have had
it's there. The angler's there, but still.
I want to see the little rumbles rumble when they rumble.
I love that.
You can see them in there.
I want to see my rumbles rumble.
Yeah.
How am I going to know it's rumbling if I don't see the rumbles?
But they're not the only ones getting a new controller.
Oh.
Because the PlayStation is putting out an Astrobot.
Oh, cute.
DualSense controller that
his little eyeballs show up on the touch.
Yeah, on the actual controller itself, they're just printed open. They don't actually change because there's not a light or a screen there. But it is themed after the Astrobots. It looks like the controller in the game. It's got the little eyeballs and the little black screen on the touchpad.
That is cute, though.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah.
I just can't ever bring myself to buy a themed thing.
Yeah.
I want generic things because it's in my mind, I'm like, well, you can only use this with Astrobot. I can't play Earth Defense Force with my Astrobot controller.
It's so funny. I feel the same way when they're like, we got to do Legend of Zelda Nintendo Switch. And it's like, but what if I want to play a different game?
Right.
I don't play it. I don't know.
And everybody's like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
But it'll look weird. Why does it Legend of Zelda, but I have the Pikmin on there?
Right. Hey, everybody, if you're looking for a PSVR 2, if you're looking for a VR headset, this thing is not selling very well. They slashed $200 off the ask price for it.
Yeah.
So instead of $600 for the pack that has the headset and Horizon, it's now $400. Or you can just buy the headset and I think the controllers for like $350. And not just that, but I want to just remind everybody that August 2nd, they are releasing the PC adapter for the PSVR 2. So if you want a headset that can connect to your PC, that's a pretty good deal, all things considered.
Now's the time.
Wait, what? Oh, I didn't open all my links. Fuck. Okay, no, it's all right.
Oh, we're running out of time, Jeff.
We're already out of time. We're already out of time. Razer has a bunch of overpriced Hello Kitty things. If you want to Hello Kitty up your
all Hello Kitty things are overpriced.
Workspace.
Hello Kitty things.
I do. I was Amanda.
Do you kind of want that chair?
No, I hate that. It's the same kind of chair that I have in my chair. It's so goddamn uncomfortable. My ass is on fire. I kind of want the Razer Kraken Hello Kitty V2 gaming headset because it's got the cat ears and a bow.
Yeah.
And I want so that if I ever have to go to a Zoom meeting or something,
that's your just cute little kitty cat.
Jeff, can you turn off the filter? And I'm like, no, this isn't a filter, baby. I paid $140 for this stupid ass Hello Kitty headset, but I don't want to pay $140 for Hello Kitty headset. They also have keyboards, chairs, mice, and
all the things.
Police in Australia found $400,000 in a gun in a Daytona, USA racing cabinet.
That sounds appropriate for Daytona, USA.
This story is interesting because apparently they pulled over, this is in Australia, and they pulled over like a motorcycle guy, like a biker for like running a red light, and they found like a telescoping baton on him, and then they like that apparently, and drugs, and so they got apparently the authority then to like raid his house, and in like a attached garage to his house they found this Daytona USA cabinet, and then in the back of it was just stuffed like stacks and stacks of cash, like $400,000, and also a gun.
What is this guy's story?
I don't know.
Like, what in the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Like, just cruising on my motorcycle, and I had my drugs and my baton, and then the cops raided my stash of cash in my Daytona USA like, what?
Damn right.
That guy's living his best life, I think.
I gotta say though that I know that this is like it's an open back thing, because you can also see that it's got a bunch of like drug paraphernalia and like Australian money in there.
Yeah.
But like, okay, all I'm gonna say is that like that's a pretty good try, man, of putting your illicit shit in the back of an arcade cabinet that's open.
Yeah.
That could also kind of be behind this like this little thing, because who the fuck is going to be like, Jenkins, go check that Daytona USA, especially if it was like plugged in and running.
Yeah.
Jenkins, go check that Ms. Pac-Man and make sure to unscrew the back to make sure there's no drugs in there.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe the cops know all about that shit.
Yeah. They're like, it's called a cabinet.
Speaking of driving games, Gran Turismo 7, the ultra-realistic racing simulator, did an update, and some bad stuff happened.
What? I don't even know what I'm looking at.
So they did an update to the physics to apparently make them work better. And when they did that, they broke the physics incredibly badly, to the point where it's like the cars just...
They're just bouncing.
They bounce.
They bounce.
And they bounce, and they gain momentum every time they bounce, and they just kind of go.
You say broken, but this sounds correct to me. It looks great.
I think it looks amazing. I kind of want Bryce's take, because he actually plays this game.
That's amazing.
Like legit. And it's just this montage of cars going out of bounds and under the air.
Yeah, this is great.
It almost is like somehow it's just the bounciness of the tires got set to 1,000% or something.
So funny.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm in.
Speaking of things that look amazing, Amanda, did you see this giant Lego?
I did.
Mario and Yoshi?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's Mario riding on the back of Yoshi, and it's got a little crank.
Like so he walks, right?
Yeah. It was a rumor, and then it actually got like fully announced. So it's
super cute.
It's very cute. He also, it looks like he walks, and then his tongue also comes out. It opens his mouth, his tongue comes out.
So cute. Yep. But it's Lego, and it's a lot of pieces, so it's like $4 million.
This one is not that bad. It's $150, I think.
Okay. That's like average for a decently sized.
And I was thinking today about buying it, because I talked to myself, I was like, Hello Kitty headset, Mario sculpture. I was like, I could jazz this room up with a little Mario sculpture. Yeah. And I was like, I'm just going to build it, and it's just going to go in a corner, and I'm never going to touch it again.
It's a little sculpture. What are you supposed to do?
But I was like, what do I actually want? And I want the NES, but that's $270, and I'm not willing to spend that.
I have been collecting the flowers.
Yeah.
Their botanical section is my absolute favorite, and I have waiting for me now the succulents to build. And they just go over, because I kill all real plants. They all die horrible deaths, and so the only thing I can have is Lego flowers.
It's better than nothing. You know which one I really liked? I talked about it on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
The Batman the Animated Series thing. Did you ever see that? It's like a poster.
Yeah.
It's like a big mural.
Those are really cool. They have a couple that are, I think, are really nice.
Yeah.
It spawned an idea John and I had if we ever got a house.
It's really cool. It's $300.
It's very big.
Like, I know it's big, but fuck, man, it's plastic. Like, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, it straight up says you can have 4 people doing it with you.
No.
Just kidding. It says 4 figures.
4 minifigs.
But yeah, it's a lot of 4,000 pieces. That's pretty big.
I know, but still, it's Legos.
But it's art. I don't know what to tell you. It's art you got to put together.
Fucking man over here.
Yeah, grown ass man with grown ass money. You could buy a VR, or you could buy Batman the animated series Gotham City art thing.
I'll buy the VR. I could play games with that. I can't play games with the fucking thing that hangs on my wall.
I get hours of enjoyment either way.
And last but not least, you remember we talked about how hard Elden Ring is, how there should be an easy mode?
Yeah, baby mode.
So Miss Mikasa is a streamer that likes to play Elden Ring with a dance pad.
Uh-huh.
And she recently beat the incredibly difficult final boss of the DLC with a dance pad. But then last week, she beat the DLC with a dance pad, but also with a controller. She's playing 2 instances of the game at the same time with both a controller and a dance pad. So,
but why? I mean, sure,
to prove it can be done. Because I'm sure she makes a lot of money on Twitch.
Yeah,
she's a very attractive lady.
Yeah,
so,
she's cute. She has long hair. God damn.
Yep. But also, I'm sure that like once
685 deaths. Sorry,
oh yeah, she spent like
on the
like
side.
3 weeks doing it apparently. But like, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, there you go. And that's it. That's a podcast. As always, I'm slightly delirious at this point because I've been talking for 3 hours straight.
I'm hungry.
Me too.
We need to get some Taco Cabana Flamin' Hot Cheeto street tacos.
Fucking, I'm holding out for the Arby's Funyun explosion, okay? All right.
That is exactly what it should be called.
All right, that's it. Good out of my house. Bye.